What's going on? What's going on? It's your brother outside the cube, and yes, we are back. Yes, we are back. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Ah, yeah, man. Yo, there's a lot of cope going on, man. There's a lot of cope going on. Lou Smalls called it before I could. There's a lot of cope going on. Listen, man, I don't know what it is, man. The pod can't let it go. I've never heard 6 live streams back to back about atheism from that channel ever. Good God. She won't let it go, y'all. She won't let it go. But it is what it is. They doing their stream over there. I'll cover that tomorrow. If it's worth it. Probably not. But hopefully it's a good show. You know, it was a pretty interesting title. But yeah. Crash Out King says, I watched this. This is some of the best coons money didn't have to buy. Yo, I love that phrase. I love that phrase. The best money. Damn. This is some of the best coons money didn't have to buy. I love that. Peace. What's going on to my main man, Spider Face? Chip. Texas Bomber in the building. You know we got love for everybody that's coming through. All right, so let's get into this, man. So you had Amanda Seals. She did the Jubilee thing, surrounded a whole bunch of black conservatives, and yeah, let me do this real quick. Y'all know how I get down. Not sometimes, not a few times, but every time. I put the link in the chat, so if you want to go watch it over there without my commentary, feel free to go over there and watch it in its entirety. But yeah, so they titled this One Black Radical versus 20 Black Conservatives. So that was interesting that they would title it that way, which is fair to a degree because she did call herself a radical. Now, I didn't watch the entirety of this. I want to say I watched maybe about 20 minutes, and I was like, you know what, this would be something that'd be cool or dope, you know what I'm saying, for me to watch on stream and react to. Uh, for people who may not know about this channel or may not know that some of these conversations are being taken place. So, yeah, let me just start off and just say, man, listen, when it comes to the black conservatives, man, these people are coons. These motherfuckers hate themselves. Without proximity to whiteness, these motherfuckers, a lot of them would kill themselves, unfortunately, you know, but they're just a disgusting group of people to where they have taken white supremacy and they've taken a bath in it, and this is, you know, who they decided to be. So let's go ahead and let's get directly into the video. Lego. I'll make sure everything. Okay, there we go.
All right, reparations.
That's amazing.
Fair,
What up, man?
necessary. My question would be, who's going to get it? Why would they get it? And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations?
See, this is always the nonsense. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? We know who's going to get it. See, the problem is, had they given our ancestors reparations from the very beginning, then this wouldn't even be an issue. But now they think that the waters are so muddy that nobody goes back to slavery. Like, come on, bro. There's still so many of us who are here in America that are descendants of slaves. Like, those are the people that would get it. But let's go.
It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years, 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it. Stop Asian hate. Okay, there's a problem with the Asian hate. Let's draft a bill, sign it, and it's done. Anything that needs to be done is done. With us, it's a carrot they dangle in front of us that they don't really want to do. And it's not going to help. We need education. Oh, it's not going to.
See, he doesn't even understand that he just impeached the United States government, because what he said was, whenever the United States wants to do something, they do it. So what he's saying is that the United States government doesn't even want to do it. And that hereby is part of the goddamn problem, is that the government doesn't want to do what's right, which they've done for people who the United States have harmed, and the United States have also given reparations to Jews who were a part of World War II that we had nothing to do with. And when I say we, I mean in this instance, I mean the United States of America had nothing whatsoever to do with that. So he's right about that. But that's the problem.
Want to help? No, it's not. We need education. Getting a check from the government is not going to do that. And we need proper education. A lot of us go to these institutions where we're not really prepared, we're not really focused, and we don't get things that'll help us in the real world. So if you want to help Black people, a check from the government, from our tax dollars is going to get raised, because let's be clear, everybody in here is Black. We all American, we all got to pay taxes. It'll go to that. So I don't really see how this is going to help us at all.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with, it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider Black people equal, and it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of Black people as a labor force in this nation back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So on a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations.
Right, and that's such a beautiful point. That's such a beautiful point, because even when they fact-checked it, it says right here, the German government has paid Holocaust survivors more than 90 billion over the last 80 years. So he, as a Black man, understands we should get it. He just doesn't want us to get it due to his own self-hatred.
We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede Black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of Black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen could very well happen.
Right, because it doesn't only have to be a check, but there can also be funds that you can specifically attribute and dole out to the people from that descend from slaves. So it doesn't only have to be a check. Like, this is their whole hang up, is that, oh man, it has to be a check. It has to be a check. And see, check this out. I want you guys to see this, because even this woman who's damn, do I got it? Oh damn, I ain't even got it. Oh shit, I thought I had it. Never mind. I thought I had it, but I had a video queued up, which I lost, that even a Japanese woman was making a case as to why Blacks deserve reparations. But let's go.
Okay, now as far as the money going towards certain things is going to help us, let's look at Baltimore public schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the US of A, like $15,000 per student, but yet the majority of the population that comes from that environment can't read. They're illiterate. So
see, now look at this stat. Look at this stat right here. And see, this is how stats can mislead you. Because people would say, well, stats don't lie, stats don't lie. Well, stats can mislead you depending on how you construct them. Because it says here, Baltimore City spends approximately $18,000 per student, the 13th highest of the nation's 100 largest districts, despite the spending, only 16% of the 8th graders read at or above national standards, and only 13% of 4th graders. Now, this is only calculating this top 100. It's only calculating that. but it's not looking at an aggregate of who gets the most. It's talking about the largest districts, because mind you, there are some districts, and there's a lot of districts that are very small that gets more money. But see, this is how you engage in stats that can mislead you from what's actually going on.
So we're dumping money on the situation, yes, but yet we're not getting the results we should get from it. Money's not going to help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as black people being labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government assistance. 1 out of every 3 black men will go to jail. We got to do something. We got to work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always anchored in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living.
So since it's never happened, then that means that's somehow an argument that we shouldn't receive it because it's never been given. So we shouldn't receive it.
They say we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you're adding another one.
I promise.
So hold on to it.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise. Reparations is a thing. Like I said, it's a carrot that dangle in front of us. They're never really going to get it done. And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, Democrats are not doing reparations either.
They're not.
This is nonpartisan. This is black partisan, baby. Okay.
Well,
this is nonpartisan.
Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for? 93% of the time. There's no incentive.
But see, that's the problem. Is because we're shuffled, herded into Democrat or Republican. Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for? No, what we should be doing is standing up and attempting to collectivize to produce a third party or even a fourth or fifth party. But see, the problem with these idiot conservatives is they think, oh man, they're so caught up hook, line, and sinker with the two-party system. They're so caught up in a duopoly that they can't see past it. Meanwhile, when you look at any other nation, so-called first world nation, they have 7, 8, 9, 10 different parties. But here in America, there's only 2. So just because you may have an issue with one party, now your only way to go is to the other party? No, you have to fight to create a third party, which they don't want to do. And this is specifically why I voted for Dr. Jill Stein of the Green Party this past election, because there has to be a way for a third party to break through to where they can actually make some of these changes.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but let's land this plane very quickly. Who do we vote for?
Let's land this plane quickly.
Who do we vote for?
You're talking to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay, and you are your own person.
Let me tell you
something
now. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're going to get clicks, stop it now.
Oh no,
that's not how we're going to. That's not how we're going to enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Okay, no problem.
Now I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying they're dangling this in our face. They're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right, I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello, Matt. Matt Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that. Let's do it.
I appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000, especially people that are in
So basically, what he's saying is that we can't walk and chew gum. We can't do two things at the same time. We can't give black people reparations and also focus on uh, the violence in our communities. This is what he's saying.
The streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we have the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882.
That's a goddamn lie. It actually will. It will.
We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest
Well, see, here's the difference, because the Chinese have their own goddamn country where they hail from. Black Americans, we don't have a country to where we come from, to where we can easily just go back. We don't have the benefit to do that. So when you bring up these bullshit non sequiturs, it makes no sense, because these Chinese people, when they're being excluded and they're having harm done to them, they can just go back from whence they came. We can't do that. We're forced to stay here. So horrible point.
Median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that black people kill each other according to the FBI?
Well, see, this is so sad. Like, this is how you know that the like I'm telling you, the fake black conservatives, they only have about 4 points that they make. It's only about 4. Violence, rap music, baby mama, like stupid shit like that. Like, they really don't have any real points of contention. They really don't have any real points of contention.
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from the sources that gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe.
And let me say this. This is how stupid that point is. I just thought about this. You may have had the Chinese Exclusionary Act, but the Chinese didn't have to go through 283 years of slavery. They also didn't have 60 years of Jim Crow. You see what I'm saying? They didn't have any of those things that consistently and continuously held them back. They didn't have that. Because if they were putting up with that kind of madness, they would just go back to where they came from. And a lot of them did.
Believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories using black-only dormitories.
This dude is so goddamn slow. He don't even understand that your credit score is fucking exclusionary and racist as shit. Like, what do you think the purpose of a goddamn credit score is? What do you think the purpose of the credit score is? That's just modern day redlining. That's all it is.
Because black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them.
This is so stupid. Black people are more likely to kill each other. Yeah, black people kill each other at 90% at a 90% clip. Guess what? White people kill each other at a 90% clip, because murder is a proximity crime. It's a proximity crime. So yes, black people kill other black people at a higher clip because black people 9 times out of 10 are around other black people. White people kill each other at a 90% clip for the simple fact that white people are most of the time are around other white people. This is how it works. Same thing in Hispanic communities. This is just how it works. It's very goddamn simple.
Just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor when black men are more likely to kill me?
Oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay. So on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that Black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way to make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so.
Yo, this is crazy. This dude just said he doesn't think it exists or ever existed. Like, at this point, I would be like, listen, little man, get out of the chair, bro. I can't talk to you. Get out of the chair. Because he's clearly on here to try to boost his social media presence, because that's not willfully ignorant. This is a dude that's trying to bring the race down. That's all that is, bro. That's all that is.
Not at all.
So it does exist, and stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact, and there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve.
Then
when we talk
very
about
simple.
systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in third grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor, then how is that not systemic?
Look at this so-called fact check right here, right? Look at this so-called fact check. Listen, look at this. While there is a direct correlation, read the so-called fact check. This is what's so crazy. Read the so-called fact check. While there is a direct correlation between literacy and education levels and incarceration rates, there's a direct correlation between them. The claim that prison planners use that data to decide where to build has been debunked. Are you fucking kidding me? They're telling you, watch this, they're telling you that there's a direct correlation between literacy, education levels, and incarceration rates. But, listen to the verbiage, but the claim that the prison planners, what the fuck are you talking about, prison planners? That's such a stupid verbiage to use, prison planners. No, it's the goddamn capitalists. That's the capitalists see the literacy rates, they see the education level, and now they say, we can now build prisons to do what? House these people. Like, come on, like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous as hell. How can you say, well, we know that there's a direct correlation between literacy, education levels, and incarceration rates, but it has nothing to do with niggas going to prison? What the fuck are you talking about? This is what she meant when she said stats lie. This is what she meant. Now, she didn't mean that stats just outright lie. What she was trying to say, which if you slow, you wouldn't pick it up. She was saying that they put them in ways to where it obfuscates the truth. That's what she was really trying to say.
And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons.
How are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen?
King Von
reparation. Actually, no. Let me land the plane. Yeah. We're talking about.
No, she should have stopped right there and allowed him to answer that question. How do you get a King Von? How do you get a King Von? She should have stopped right there and let him make a fool of his goddamn self.
Reparations, and what you're doing is actually just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country.
I don't give a fuck if we had 50,000 King Vons. That doesn't take away from the fact that there's a debt that's owed. It doesn't take away from the fact. I don't care if you had 50 million King Vons. It doesn't take away from the fact that a debt is owed, and not only that a debt is owed, is that we've seen America pay debts to other people who they have harmed and or wronged. But here's the thing: the people that America have harmed and or have wronged, they've never had those people that they paid money to. They've never had those people for 283 years into slavery. They've never done that. They've never done that.
And the country continues to thrive off of the labor that black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors put blood, sweat, and tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remunerations. Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one
No,
point that I wanted to
answer the
say?
question.
Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young.
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
Yeah, he doesn't know the difference between reparations and remunerations. That's why he said that stupid shit. Well, let me just get back to what I was saying. This is what they all do. When they can't answer a question, they'll go back to some silly ish they was already trying to talk about.
I hope some of y'all are acting. I really do. We in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting.
Spoiler alert, a lot of them are. They're trying to build that social media presence.
Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you gotta go.
Major coon.
That's a choice that you are making
Major
for
coon
yourself.
alert.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me
How old are
mom.
you?
I'm 32.
I am 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
Really? Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way,
Nah, she playing games. That's what being mixed will do. Stop playing games, sister. Stop playing these fucking games.
I wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
Well, it's the liberal position, because conservative.
And that's another thing. They always go into this liberal. See, this dude was not paying attention to the conversations that was had before him, because she clearly said she's not a Republican or a Democrat. She's a black radical. She said that she's a radical. So he still comes on here with this liberal nonsense. Man, crash out, King. God damn.
Crash Out King says, I wish Dr. Khalid Muhammad was alive. These people are pathetic.
Bro, do you know how crazy it would be if Dr. Khalid was having one of these? Oh, man. Y'all saw what he did on Phil Donahue's show. Khalid would be like 70 years old right now, cooking these mugs.
Believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got,
Yep.
not asking for handouts
Right.
from people who never had slaves.
That's nonsense. You talk about a people who was enslaved for 287 years that don't believe in hard work. Meanwhile, when they get out of slavery, white people get the Homestead Act. White people get the Montgomery GI Bill. They get every single solitary thing that they need. They get everything that they need to continue their society and build their particular portion of the society in America up. But it's black people. We're the ones that are looking for handouts. Stop it. That's BS. Because those same white people that you're talking about, when they were given those Homestead Acts, they weren't just picked out of a hat and said, you get one and you get one and you get one. No, they had to apply for that. So they were actively seeking that handout. Stop it. You're just a goddamn coon. God damn it, I can't stand a coon.
Stop it. Get some help.
Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves.
Okay.
Nobody's asking money from anybody. There's a job that was done for 287 years, and by that job being done, there's a debt that's owed. Nobody ain't asking for no goddamn money. We're demanding we get the money. There's a difference.
Let's talk about the fact there were also black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair?
Yo, this is so disgusting on every level. There were look at the fact check. There were approximately 3,700 free black people who owned 12,000 slaves. Watch this. I just want y'all to see this. What is this video? Watch this video, y'all. It's only about 3 minutes. And I came across this video and I never looked at it the way how this dude broke it down. I never looked at it this way. Check this out.
All right, so anyone surfing social media this week has surely seen this clip of Jillian Michaels saying this about slavery.
Do you realize that only less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
And while she didn't name a specific year in her claim on CNN, she did tweet this out later saying, "I'm denigrating all of humanity by pointing out that 98% of American white people in 1860 didn't perpetrate slavery." But let's take a look at this claim.
See, this is what white people love to say. Well, you know, it was only less than 2% of white people that had slaves, right? Watch this, y'all, because this shit blew my mind. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Because yes, as the data shows, in 1860, there were 393,975 slave owners in the United States out of a total population of 31,183,582, or just 1.26% of the population. But let's take a closer look at that. Because by taking a look at this map from 1860 of the percent of households that owned slaves at the time, we can see that slavery was no longer practiced in the North and was only practiced down here in the
So it's convenient that we use 1860, 5 years before freedom, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and use that. Let's go ahead and use 1860.
South. And so yeah, if we eliminate those 18 free states and only concentrate on the remaining 15 slave states, you can see we get that same amount of slave owners that now have a population of just 12 million. That's almost 19 million off of the original number.
So the number goes up to 3.22% when you take away the free states. Take away the free states because they like to say America. They like to say America, it was less than 2%. But what happens when we take away the free states? Let's go.
Which gets us to 3.22% of the population owning slaves. And so yeah, if we eliminate those 18 free states and only concentrate on the remaining 15 slave states, you can see we get that same amount of slave owners that now have a population of just 12 million. That's almost 19 million off of the original number, which gets us to 3.22% of the population owning slaves. But here's another problem. If we just look at the U.S. slave states in 1860, we can see that in the slave column here, we have almost 4 million slaves. And because they can't own themselves, we gotta minus them out too. And so if we remove them, we get 8.2 million with the same amount of slave owners, and now that number jumps up to 4.75% of the free population of these 15 states. But if we focus on just those 11 states that decided to secede from the United States in order to protect slavery, that percentage gets even bigger. So if we add up just the Confederate States, we get 316,632 slave owners and 5,582,222 people, meaning that now 5.67% of the free population.
That number is getting bigger and bigger. Once we start to separate the nonsense, that number starts to get bigger and bigger.
Own slaves. But again, this 5.67 number only deals with the patriarch of a family who actually owns those slaves, not the wife and children.
The 5.67, now we have to look at households, because you can't say people, because you can't say a little baby girl or a little, baby boy owned slaves. No, now we got to bring the number down, because now we're talking about households. Let's go.
Who stood to inherit them when he died. So if we take a look at that number, we can see that 30.8% of the free families in the Confederacy owned slaves, and that number was as high as 49% in a state like Mississippi. And that's why, Jillian, it's important to teach slavery to our school children, to know how it started, how it progressed.
Exactly. So when you really look at the numbers of the people that were actually practicing it, even if you go to 1860, when we know that the North had abolished slavery, when you go to 1860, the average state had anywhere between 40 to 50% of people, yes, people that owned slaves. It's crazy.
And what states this?
My bad, not people, but households.
decided to fight a war to keep it. I mean, there is zero evidence to say if these 11 states had beaten the North in the Civil War that they would have ever ended slavery. It was an economic advantage that they didn't want to let go of. And that's why it's no secret that when you take a look at the map of people that owned slaves in 1860 and compare it to the map of the states that decided to fight a war over slavery, and then compare it to a map of the violence that was brought against black people in the 10 years after Jim Crow laws were adopted in the South, and then compare it to a map of the segregation that existed all the way into the 1950s and the 1960s, it's clear that the same culture that was committed to slave ownership decades after other American states gave it up maintained that culture in those same states more than a century later. This is a picture from 1965 of a woman and her daughters. And that's why it's important to teach all history, Jillian, not just cherry pick certain percentages when they work for your argument. We need to teach kids everything and let them figure it out for themselves.
And what's so sad about that is this piece of scum, she actually adopted a little black girl, which is so disgusting on every level, if we're being honest. Crash Out King says, Qube, if you think that guy is an idiot, idiota, the Nigerian girl with the blonde lace front, nah, I ain't get that far. I think I stopped at this idiot right here. But yeah, like, I never looked at it like that. Okay, well, once you separate, if you want to use 1860, once you separate the free states, and then once you separate the babies and children, because they like to use the 2% number to cover everybody. But once you separate the women who couldn't even own fucking property, the babies and kids who obviously couldn't own property, that number goes up to 40 to 50%, which is crazy. But let's continue, because this dude's an idiot.
I'm a white person and my family fall on the side of the Union. Why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist?
Because it was a system. It was a system that engaged in it. So even if you get to a particular time in the United States where the North abolished it, are you trying to say that the people that live in the North that benefited from it, that once they abolished it, it's just gone and they don't have to deal with it because they abolished it? No, they still owe because they upheld the system. No different than the people in the South who had slaves at a clip from 30 to 45%. They owe too, because it was a system that everybody engaged in.
Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery.
Half of the founding fathers were abolitionists. That's garbage. The founding fathers were slave owners, you damn idiot. The founding fathers were slave owners.
Shut up, bitch.
What is you talking about?
And they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too, because they believed that there'll be a future where there would be a black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were black. There was people in the North who helped with the...
None of them wanted anybody to be black in leadership, bruh. They didn't. They looked at you as a tool. They had you as property. What are you talking about? They wanted you in leadership. They thought they were better than you.
The Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is
that? Let me hit him with that.
Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
That fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves.
That's exactly what's going on. He's trying to say because this white family or that white family, they didn't have slaves. So that means that no black person should get reparations. Because this one white family or that white family over there, they didn't have slaves. So that means that black people, even though black people were under this system, and these same white people who enjoyed their time in this system due to black people being in the position that they were, they don't owe shit. Bullshit.
That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity. And we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a black president, just in case you didn't know.
Oh yeah. There it is. That's the other one. Hold on. Y'all help me remember this. What is it? It's rap music. It's violence amongst each other. What's the other one that the other stupid dude used? And it's a black president. Like, these are their arguments. Like, they don't have any cogent, coherent arguments that they can actually make. Because the thing that kills them is that America has already given reparations to people that they've harmed, and they've already given reparations to people who they haven't harmed. They've already done this multiple times.
We had a black president and we had a black vice president. I mean, I think she was black. They said she was black. I don't know. So we had a black president, and you know who voted for that black man? White people, because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, oh, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and
oh, you listen. Hey, hold on. You know what? There's this huge issue, you know, with white men, because white men make up 90% of child corn. White men, they make up 90% of people that are caught and prosecuted for having child corn. So you know what the problem is that people are talking about these white men that keep getting caught with child corn. That's the problem. The problem is not the shit that they're doing. And the stuff that they have on their computers and phones, that's not the problem. It's the problem is people are talking about these white dudes keep getting caught with child corn. This is what he's telling y'all. He's telling you the reason why racism persists is because we keep talking about it. That's the reason why racism persists. This is why. This is so stupid on every level, bruh. They don't have any arguments. They don't have any arguments. I feel like I'm talking to Nepal over again. God damn.
Continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, black people, and making us victims.
He's still with this goddamn liberal mindset, bruh. Listen. What we have to wake up to as a people is to hell with the conservatives, to hell with the Democrats, to hell with liberalism. Throw that in the garbage. Throw it in the garbage. If they want to call you a black radical, so be it. Wear it proud. I'm a goddamn communist. I'm a communist. And there's a reason why I'm a goddamn communist. I don't mince words when I talk about it. Call me what you want to call me. But until there's fucking equality, this is who I will be.
And not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal opportunity.
Do not bring up Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby. Please.
They said the Lord's name in vain. The Lord's name.
Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No.
Yo, the self-hate is real. To try to boil down what she did to, well, white people helped her. To boil that down to, well, white people helped her. Yo, that's crazy. This tells you that he's not attempting to actually make an argument in good faith, because why would you go there? Well, white people helped her. This is nonsense.
Come on in.
You know who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
people who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
it's a lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir, that's simply not true.
There's no such. I mean,
if that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism
Man, I gotta be honest, bro. I gotta be honest. When a Negro says that there's no such thing as white supremacy, there's a small part of me, just a very small part of me, a very small part of me, depending on what day it is, that I just yearn to see one of these videos of these motherfuckers getting slapped, spit on, punched on by a bunch of motherfucking crackers, yelling the N-word. Like, I yearn for that. I want that. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, that's not a good thing overall. I know, I get it. But I struggle with that. But these type of niggas, bro, they gotta go.
And white people placing themselves in positions of power when they do not have the power.
Because their culture, black culture is toxic. The black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the black home. Let's talk.
Here we go with this lie. Niggas been telling this lie like this shit still exists. There's no fathers in the black home. Nigga, you full of shit. You full of shit. The average black woman with children that I see, she got a baby daddy or a nigga that's living with her. He may have, one kid he taking care of the other kids, whatever the case may be. Does it exist? Yeah, it exists. But don't say that there's no fathers in the home. That's nonsense.
Stop.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit.
It's
not gonna work. No, a debate has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism right now.
I am not putting off emotional liberalism. You're putting off unfounded lies based in conservatism.
Misinformation. Remember they did the misinformation thing all summer where everything conservatives did. They said misinformation.
You're carrying a chain around your neck of an apartheid nation that actively wants to harm black people and non-Jewish people. But let me bring it back.
He's so damn slow. He doesn't even understand that the state of Israel is a goddamn apartheid state. I say this all the time. Americans are the most propagandized people in a negative way on the face of this goddamn earth. Americans are the most negatively propagandized people on the face of this goddamn earth. Donald Trump comes out and says we got a problem with China. Now everybody else says we got a problem with China. Donald Trump comes out, says, hey, what Putin is doing over to the Ukraine, that's okay. Everybody says it's okay. But they leave out. Donald Trump said, hey, my first day in office, I'm going to end this war. I'm going to end that war. I'm going to end this war. Poof, nothing goddamn happened. Nothing happened.
Denied. We're selling black people in Africa.
That was not happening in the context that you're saying.
And they were selling their own people. Black people still sell their own people today, too, by the way.
I don't know if I'm going to last.
We're selling our own people today, too.
I don't know if I'm going to last.
You probably won't last with me.
I won't, because your ignorance is so overwhelming.
See, that's liberals. Y'all start name-calling when y'all get defeated in an argument.
You won't have an argument because you keep cutting me off.
Oh, well, that's fine. If they don't let me come back over, I made my point.
You didn't make your point.
I made my point.
You haven't made your point. And let me just tell you about your point. You started off saying, we believe in hard work.
Yeah.
And we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not, though. Reparations is not hard work. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood.
This dude just said reparations. A debt that's owed. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood. This is a coon, y'all.
You said you believe in hard work.
Yes.
And you believe in being compensated for hard work.
Yes.
Were slaves compensated for their work?
They weren't compensated for their work. But why should people who are sitting at home playing...
Hold on. Did he say that they were compensated? Hold on.
For their work.
They weren't compensated for their work.
This nigga just said that slaves were compensated for their work. Well, if they were compensated for their work, then why didn't you lead with that? Why didn't you lead with, well, listen, black people don't deserve reparations because they were compensated for their work? But he know it's garbage.
work, but why should people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
are you sitting at home playing a video game? Are you sitting at home playing a video game?
The people that they're wanting reparations.
I don't know no nigga, haven't met a nigga in about 15 years, grown man. I'll be 40 this year. Haven't met no grown man that's sitting back smoking weed, playing video games, and not working. If you want to smoke weed and play video games when you go off of work, yeah, get off of work, we've seen that. But just sitting back playing video games like, man, I'm just waiting on the check. Bro, stop it.
At home playing a video game? No. And I don't know who these people are that you're talking about, because the majority of the black community is not sitting at home playing video games.
The majority of the black
Bro, how the fuck can you have in America, you have like a 4% unemployment rate. You have a 4% unemployment rate, but for some reason, all of these people are just sitting back playing John Madden, smoking weed. Like, nigga, stop. That's just not real. It's just not real. It's made up.
Where are you getting that statistic? Where are you getting that statistic?
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn. Let's go.
Combs.
Hello. My hand's wet from the water.
My hands are sweaty because I'm nervous. We both got sweaty hands. Okay. So I just wanted clarity because I think it'd be helpful. You said radical. I wanted just clarity on that. And then also with the reparations, you said it's not just money, it's other things. I just want to know, like, what do you see as like the grand picture of what would help?
The grand picture of what would help?
Of reparations. Like, what does that look like to you?
Oh, great. What reparations looks like to me is a combination of reparations and remunerations. And reparations are about repair for damages that have been caused based on harm. Remunerations is a monetary response to work that has not been paid for. So if you come and paint my house and I don't pay you, you can take me to court and get remunerations for the work that you have done. So we're actually owed both in this nation as black people, and there are incredibly...
I want to see this goddamn Coonette get out of this. How do you get out of this, Coonette? How do you get out of this?
Just clear-cut records that show the buying and selling and purchasing of slaves, the work that was done, also the intellectual property that was stolen from slaves, right? Because there was so much inventing that was happening. And there is also quite a bit of other reparations that are being discussed as it relates to property being stolen, as it relates to, again, redlining and the inability for black people to get loans, et cetera. And these impediments being solely based on their race.
As far as like discrimination?
Yes, like they're being solely based on their race, that not being about anything other than you're black so you can't, right? And so when it's very clear cut like that, there are very distinctive responses to that can be done through a cash payment as well as through measures that are being...
How the fuck did this lady make it through?
Done to create funds for creating resources and responses like housing, like access to food, access to education, et cetera, that certain communities have not had access to because of the fallout from these things.
And I just had a quick question for clarifying. With the funds, I'm wondering, where do you think those should come from? Like the actual money, like is that we're raising money? Is it taxes? Like
they come from the same goddamn place to where the Jews get their money every motherfucking year. They come from the same goddamn place to where the Japanese got their money back in the 80s. They come from the same place. Why is it when it comes to black people, we got to sit back and ponder and hope and wish and pray that some manna would just fall down from fucking heaven and maybe that'll help niggas? Why is it when it come to us, there's all of these stipulations and hoops and flames of fire niggas got to jump through? Why can't it just be like everybody else who got it? Well, who's going to pay for it? Who the fuck you think going to pay for it? Shouldn't it be the same way how it's been paid for since fucking time immemorial?
What does that look like?
Well, I think what they've been doing with these different reparations committees is they're looking at, all right, well, how much has this city or how much has this town or how much has this country gained from the estimated amount that was stolen from these people, right? So they're looking at, like, what is this wage amount? For instance, like if you look at during that time. Okay, what was the wage amount that a hired worker would get for this same work? All right, and so we're looking at how was that wage not provided, and what is that pool that is being created? And then we're looking at, all right.
And let me say this, even though she's right about that, a lot of these reparation task force committees, a lot of them shits is bullshit. Like, they just stalling black people out. They stalling black people out. They can get this done in about 6 months. But as the dude at the beginning, Anthony Brian Logan, said, when America wants to do something, they do it. But America doesn't want to do it, so they stall black people out and, you know, keep giving you this, well, let's do a committee. Let's do a committee. And then when the committee comes and says, well, yeah, America should owe the people in this particular district, county, and or city or town, then it's okay, well, now we got to bring it on a vote. And then when they bring it on a vote, nothing gets passed. Nothing gets done. So fuck that, man. We need a revolution. We need a motherfucking revolution.
Where can that wage come from in terms of how has that wage been applied? So there are spaces.
Crash Out King says, Qube, we need you up on this there, man.
Man, listen, bro. If they would have me, they would get the best version of Qube. I promise you that.
Where this is very clear. I think the last thing that you asked about was the difference between liberal and radical.
Yeah, please.
Ultimately, the concept of liberalism is really just not Republican, right? I mean, that's essentially what it's become.
Nah, what it is, liberalism is basically centrism. That's really what the fuck it's become. In America, liberalism has become centrism. Liberalism is fucking 70 years away from Keynesian thought and what the fuck he was actually trying to put down at the turn of the century. Like, it's just centrism. It's just a way for white people to say, oh, this is so messed up, so I'm not racist because I can say that this is so messed up. Oh, this is so bad, but then they never have to fucking do anything about it. That's what liberalism is. And so many stupid black people fall into this same goddamn boat that we know that's going to eventually capsize, but black people run their stupid black ass into this goddamn democratic liberalism garbage to where we know nothing about this is actually progressive. See, what they make you think is that liberalism is progressive because they'll do shit for gay people and allow gay people to get married. They will say, hey, you know, we got to fight for trans folks and allow trans folks to do this or do the fuck that. But when it actually comes time to actually progress our fucking society and do things for other minority groups, because the LGBTQ, they could be minority all the fuck they want. They could be minority groups all the fuck they want until those goddamn LGBT groups that are also black, then it's fuck you. Then we don't give a damn. So the hell with goddamn liberalism. The hell with centrism. It's trash. We need a goddamn revolution. Let's go.
Disagree with that, but I understand that's your stance.
There's a very generic concept of what liberalism is, in the sense that it's simply saying that I am a part of the bipartisan mind frame, but I am not a Republican. It's a mindset. It doesn't always show up in action, but it's a mindset that says, you know, I don't support extremes in certain ways, or, you know, I want the government to show up in certain ways.
It's just bona fide milquetoast centrism. That's all it is. It's centrism. It's left-leaning centrism. Well, let me not even say left. Let me say democratic centrism. It's just what it is. Because if we're being honest, we have two right-leaning fucking parties. People sit up here and say, well, you know, see, we wouldn't have Trump if people would have voted for Kamala. Fuck is you talking about? If we voted for Kamala Harris right now, nigga, your ass still wouldn't be getting no reparations. The little fucking Palestinian children would still be getting blown to goddamn bits. Would still be getting blown to bits. Here, check this video out. Check this out. I want y'all to see this. Same planet, but it's a different world. Listen, this video right here is why I'm a goddamn communist. This video right here is why I'm a communist. Pay attention to this shit. Pay attention. Isn't this shit sick to y'all? To where you can see these little white motherfuckers that's just running around in Sandro Pay and having a great goddamn time. But then you go to goddamn Palestine and you see these kids walking through filth. Like, this is disgusting to me. It's a sad sight to see. Liberals don't give a fuck about that. These are your goddamn liberals. Right here in this video. Skipping along. Everything's okay. This is what the poor have to deal with. Bombs going off. Like, this shit is real. So when you get a goddamn ignorant motherfucking Negro that's on here talking this nonsense, and you asking questions about what's the difference, nigga, this is the difference. They care about one group, and they don't give a damn about the other group if they live or die. This is the difference. This is the difference. It's not difficult to spot or suss out.
You know, I know there's a conservative point of view that says there should be less government, but even though it just says that, the action is very different. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation.
Thank you for explaining that.
And thank you for being very respectful.
We were told to be respectful. We're not your enemies.
Thank you, my good sis.
Surrounded is now a podcast.
Nah, that's garbage. They are enemies. I don't give a fuck how nice she was. She's a goddamn enemy. That woman is a goddamn enemy. She's an enemy. Because she's okay. That woman can look at everything that's that's happening in Palestine and say, hey, you know, the Palestinians, they gotta deal with their own mess. How as a human can you look at it like that? Or for the ignorant religious niggas, tell them to pray to God. Knowing good and goddamn well God ain't never stopped a bomb. Like, stop it. Oh, that must be the girl Crash Out King was talking about with the weave or whatever, the blonde weave.
So you say that black on black crime is due to underfunding and over-policing, essentially. Yes. I actually don't.
No, that's not where black crime comes from. No, that's not where it comes from. There's a whole history that's being left out. Modern day, yes, that has a lot to do with it. That has a lot to do with it. But it's mainly the infiltration of our communities by these people who make money off of us participating in this particular way.
I don't necessarily disagree with one of those. Okay. I think that, however, the government, who do you think should be responsible for the funding piece of the black community? Should that be something that the government should step into, or should that be something that we as black people need to handle ourselves? Dr. Jordan Peterson and even Thomas Sowell.
See, listen, bro. These are their greats. These are their greats, and this is why I gotta do videos knocking these niggas down. Dr. Jordan Peterson. Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell is a goddamn coon if I ever seen one. I gotta start doing videos knocking down they goddamn greats. Because they listen to these goddamn idiots who don't want... listen, these people are rich. They don't care about poor people. And furthermore, they don't care about black people. They're okay if you sit in the ghetto, starve, fight, fuck, shoot, or kill each other. They do not care. So don't come up here with your pompous attitude like you actually care and you quoting somebody. Nigga, we don't give a fuck about nobody you trying to claim to quote. These niggas are trash. These are disgusting human beings.
Several others have stated one thing, that poverty and crime, there's a positive correlation. There's also a positive correlation in the black community of absentee fatherism being one of the root causes leading into criminality. Black males that grew up without a father are 10 times more likely to engage in criminal activity. And so
Now look at this, y'all. Look at this. I want to show y'all something about these facts. Now, when we look at the fact check, it says research clearly shows there is a correlation between absent fathers and a higher likelihood to engage in criminal activity. You see that, right? But do you remember earlier when I read the same fact check about the prison, the school to prison pipeline? The verbiage was a little bit different. It said research shows a direct correlation. Research shows a direct correlation with education level and rates of people going to prison. It said a direct correlation. This one isn't saying that. It says research clearly shows that there's a correlation between absent fathers and a higher likelihood to engage in criminal activity. Researchers have reached different conclusions on the exact percentage. Data from Florida FAU found children in general with an incarcerated parent are 5 to 6 times more likely to become offenders. Ain't that crazy?
Denied.
So one was a direct correlation, but for this, they're saying, when we look at it, researchers have reached different conclusions. On this one, they're saying researchers have reached different conclusions. You see how they kind of like fiddling with the information?
I think one of
Can I put a pin right there and ask you a question?
Ask me whatever you like.
What is the root cause of there being less fathers present?
Bad decision making on the part of the fathers. We live in a patriarchal.
Wow. Bad decisions on behalf of the fathers. Bad decisions on behalf of the fathers. Ain't that about a bitch? So when they were purposefully bringing drugs into the community, which we know existed, that was just a bad decision on behalf of black fathers. We're not gonna put the blame where it actually lays, because this is what we doing. This is a blame session. Since we're putting blame, why don't we put the blame at the people who were actively attempting to destroy the black community, which is the United States government? This is a blame session. So why don't we put the blame at the feet of the United States government? When we look at redlining and Jim Crow laws, why don't we put the blame at the feet of the United States government? But when you talk about absentee fathers, now we got to put the blame at the foot of black men. It's crazy. I hope these coons get everything that they fucking deserve.
System. Like it or not, men have dominated the socioeconomic, economic, and political power of this country and the world since.
You heard what this coon ass nigga said? He said men have dominated. Excuse me, sir. Earth to stupid. White men have dominated. And they've made a concerted effort to keep us as black men outside of that domination. They've made a concerted effort to keep us up out of that. So when you say men, it's grossly misunderstood. Black men don't have this motherfucking power that he's talking about. It's white people. But he doesn't want to use that verbiage because it would impeach and fuck over his argument.
since our existence. So our bad decision making, especially when we focus on the black community, is the root cause of fatherlessness.
What type of decisions?
Not marrying the women we decide to lay down and have children with. Not being careful with the seeds that we plant in women. No woman can get pregnant without a man planting his seed inside of her. So therefore...
So it's marriage.
Well, that's a part of it. That's marriage is a part of it.
Okay.
But the true piece that I'm looking at is connectedness between familial units. The black community was at its economically strongest while being at its poorest during the...
He just killed his own goddamn argument. He just killed his own argument. Even when black men were in the home at an 85 to 90% clip, we still were poor. Earth to Cone, are we still poor now? Earth to Cone. Even when black men were statistically 85 to 90% in the homes in the 40s, 50s, and in some parts of the 60s, we still were fucking poor. We still were being dominated by white people and left out. We still were left out. So what the fuck is the goddamn difference? Listen, if black people today were married at an 85 to 90% clip, guess what? He wouldn't be able to use that argument. It would still be the same. We would still be poor. So you're wrong, sir. You're incorrect.
Denied.
Get him out of there.
Segregation era. Prior to 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King in his last speech said that we have an annual income of more than $30 billion a year, which is more than all of the exports of Canada and more than all of the exports of the United States and more than the national budget of Canada. That was when we were economically at our poorest. Yet 85% of our black children were growing up with a father in the home. There was less black on black crime. There was less disenfranchisement.
Why was there less black on black crime?
Because we needed to live together. We had to stick by each other. We had to stick by each other.
What was there also less of?
I'm not sure where you're leading. That's a leading question. I don't like.
How the fuck is that a leading question? You just gave an attribute saying that there was less black on black crime. She said, well, what else were there also less of? There was less money, nigga. How's that a leading question? You were attributing things to the black community. Well, what else was there less of? Well, that's a leading question. In other words, I don't want to answer that because it can cause my argument to be defeated.
You don't like this?
I don't like leading questions. No, I like direct stuff.
So essentially, when we were living in our own communities, we were also policing our own communities. So we were not being used as statistics in the same way to determine how resources were provided to our own communities. When we were
Nana Asadukil Krabur says. Milk said we coming to get our check in his last speech.
Yeah, they never want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. Because that doesn't help his argument. Arguing in good faith never helps your argument. It never helps your argument.
Going to the government saying, hey, we deserve because we are supposed to be separate but equal. Mm-hmm. We weren't saying, hey, we want to be with y'all. We were essentially saying, we want what you are stating we deserve. And that is what all of the efforts of the civil rights movement has been. It's literally just been to say, you said when we got out of the Civil War that we would be considered citizens and all citizens should be getting equal access to these things. However, you are actively allowing the Klan to harm us. You're actively allowing...
Who's killed more black people, the Klan or us?
Yo, this is crazy, bro. Let me opine on what she was just saying. She's 100% right. Because what revisionists want to do is they want to say, oh, you were just trying to eat next to white people or you just wanted to drink on the white man's water fountain. Nigga, no. They were trying to break down those goddamn barriers because World War I, you had black people that fucking fought for this country. World War II, you had black people that fought for this country. So when they came home, they didn't have access to the same things that white people had access to. The GIs that came home didn't have access to the same thing. So if it took that I gotta sit my ass in this goddamn diner and get eggs and all of this other stuff thrown at me, then this is what I'm trying to do. It's not that I want to sit at your goddamn white restaurant. I'm trying to make a point that I should be able to get the same thing that you're getting. People misconstrue this so many times. They weren't actively just wanting to drink from a white person's joint. No. You said that when we got out of slavery, everybody was equal. So if everybody is equal, why aren't I getting the same things that other white people are getting? And if we are equal, why can't I drink from this water fountain? This is what it was. But for some reason, revisionists, they just mix it all up. Oh, they just wanted to be next to the white man, and this is how. No, that's not what it was. You're liars.
I would like to continue my statement. I let you speak uninterrupted. You did. When we talk about this concept of who is harming us, we are really making a false claim when it comes to black on black crime, as if there isn't white on white crime. There's also this unnecessary effort to try and pathologize black on black crime in a way that you don't try to pathologize white on white crime. There are white people killing each other every single day. Now, they may be on jet skis in the pictures after they shoot up their whole family, but nonetheless, there are white people killing each other every single day. Now, much of the reason why you may see more numbers in terms of black on black crime are for two reasons. One, the statistics be lying all the time. We have seen this.
What numbers? Okay, would you say that?
Mainly propaganda. That's all it is. It's propaganda. It's propaganda to instill this fear into white folks, to make it seem like black people are just, uncouth. We're just so bad, and every time you see a black person, they're gonna rob you. They've been doing this shit since we were let out of slavery. It's been the same goddamn playbook. The problem is that we just haven't woke up to it to realize what's actually happening. And it's niggas like all of these conservatives that's on here that's pushing the propaganda to actively harm black people.
Seen this in a real way. So in New Jersey.
When you say
in New Jersey,
what numbers can be trusted? Because with the previous speaker, you said
I'm about to tell you right now.
Okay, so your sources can
you
be trusted.
can't such number. No, I'm literally about to give you an example of numbers not being able to be trusted.
Okay, talk to me.
That's what I was doing.
I'm listening.
Okay, then listen.
Oh, my ears open.
So listen. In New Jersey, they had a statistic that was created by the police department that said, look at how many black people are committing crimes. Look at how crazy this number is. These black people are so exorbitantly violent. Look at this. And then people went and actually matched the names that they were booking with the faces of the actual people incarcerated. Okay. And it was proven that they were lying.
So that's one instance. Hold on.
Where's the fact check that pops up on the side that says that, well, this didn't happen because there's no fact check for that.
No, you're talking to somebody that works as a police dispatcher when I'm not making content. So here's the thing.
See.
No. You see, you're about to see the truth if you just give me a second. Like Trump said, just give me a second. I'm going to do the weave, but give me a minute.
Well, here's what you all keep doing. You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make. And yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. So if you want me to keep getting louder, I will do it. But ultimately, if I show you respect, give me the respect back. I let you talk. I let you make your points. I am countering your points. And my points are just as valid as yours, even though you got a pocket square and a Church of Christ pin on your chest.
It's not a Church of Christ. It's
whatever.
A cross.
It's a cross. Same difference. You got an American flag and you think you know something because you a cop. And ultimately,
not a cop. Dispatcher. There's a difference.
It's a cab all day over here. So let me make that clear. But let me also add to my point. My point is that you can sit here and blame black people on black people all day long and not acknowledge that we are forced into. You're coming to interrupt me again.
I haven't even said a word.
All right, that is flagged.
Nigga, but you doing all this huffing and puffing like a goddamn hoe. Nigga, listen.
So I'm going to ask you to return to your seat.
It's a waste of my time.
Out of there.
Y'all just want to be seen. I don't need to be seen. Hello.
How are you? I'm Jasmine, the pretty good
lady.
Oh, this the sister you was talking about, Crash Out King.
Say less outfit. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let me say this, man. To your point, Crash Out King, about the tether thing. We've been so destroyed to where we look at black immigrants that come over here, we call them tethers and all of this other kind of nonsense. It's just so stupid, bro. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. We going out of days to where we actually attack the system. Now we're like joining the system on attacking black people. It's just so dumb.
So this is my thing. I think the premise of your question was black on black crime. So I think I'm coming from a place, and I guess my issue is having had my biological father murdered by a black man, having had my cousin shot in the head by a black man. We can talk numbers and statistics and what the people are doing and what the white man is doing and all that. But at the end of the day,
So basically what she's saying is, if I'm correct, because her father was murdered by a black man, this is why she hates black people. If your father was murdered by a white man, should you then be justified in hating white people? Because if that's the case, we could look at our ancestors and see the way that how they were treated by white people. So you should have an automatic hate for them, right?
See, when my family lives on the south side of Chicago, and I think you and I both can attest to this, and I'm not saying that there are not other factors, but we know that we kill each other at a disproportionate rate than any other race.
No, the fuck we don't. Why people keep saying that? It's the same rate. Yo, I gotta pull this up, bro. I gotta pull this stat up because it's so dumb. Black people kill black people at the same rate that white people kill white people. Why do, bro, black people have been so propagandized to where like we just keep repeating this nonsense. That is not the truth.
Now, why we do that and why 6,000 to 9,000 black men are going to be homicided or killed or whatever by the end of the year annually by other black men, whereas the likelihood of a black man being killed by a white police officer is less than 150 per year, we know that we kill each other at a higher rate. So I'm not debating that there are not factors at play, but because I've lived the experience as a black woman losing my father to be murdered by a black man, walking down the street
to hear that, by the way.
No worries, thank you. But walking down the street in inner cities and different things, knowing that it's more likely that my own brother will rob and rape me than a white man or a white officer, we got to be real.
What's your proximity to white men in the south side of Chicago? Are there even white men around to rob and rape you at the same rate that there are black men?
There are white men around.
At the same rate?
There wasn't a lot of black.
Hold on, I gotta show this, man, because these coons are just something else, bro. There's something else. This is beyond pathetic. Hold on. Hold on, let me pull this up. This is so pathetic that they keep doing this. Hold on. And it's sad on so many levels. Okay, so we see right here. Generally, homicides tends to be an intraracial crime. This means that victims are most often killed by offenders of the same race. Studies show similar patterns for both black on black and white on white homicides, with rates typically hovering between 80 and 90%. In some years, the percentage of black homicides victims killed by other black individuals has been higher, reaching over 90%. However, it's important to look beyond just the percentage of homicides committed within racial groups. Black American, bro, like, what are people talking about? It's very simple. The rate of black on black and white on white homicides, they're the goddamn same. Nothing has changed. And we are so goddamn propagandized, we can't see this. Man, I'm telling you. These are white, bro. These are white people, bro. They're white people.
People in there, but then that doesn't justify the fact that we're destroying each other. So even if we get to the root, like
we can agree on that.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of
nothing
times liberals
justifies.
will argue like, well,
I'm not
the
a
white people
liberal.
are killing
I am
people.
I'm not a liberal.
Okay, well, I will say that people that sometimes
you notice how they keep going to that liberal thing. They keep going to that liberal thing. She's made it clear she's not a liberal. She's a fucking radical. It's sad.
have your stance that are against conservatives, maybe they have this claim that they're making it up, they're making up the numbers. We know that we do that to each other. So I want to get to the root of the issue. Why are
Okay, so if you know that we do this to each other, why haven't you looked into the numbers to find out that white people also do that to each other? Why haven't you looked into the numbers? I just did a Google search and it was very simple to do. It was very simple to do.
Are
What
we
is
killing
the
each
root of
other?
the issue?
I think the root of the issue is we've lost our values and we've lost our resilience as Black people. We sit there and we talk about what the white man did and we talk about slavery and everything like that, but we have no self-accountability and say, you know what, at the end of the day, that is my Black grandmother, that is my Black sister, you are my Black sister, and you know that a Black man is more likely to rob you or commit some type of crime against you.
Yes, because these are intraracial fucking proximity crimes. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. God damn, take that fucking stupid wig off your fucking head so you can actually think. You fucking coon.
You. And that's what we need to get down to the issue of. And like you were talking about earlier, like, hey, well, what's going on? You know, what do you think the answer is to one of the brothers that were speaking? I think it's the breakdown of the family. I think, like he said, because of our poor choices, and what happens is we look at domestic violence, for example, when domestic.
So the reason why Black people kill Black people at the same rate that white people kill white people is because there's a breakdown in the family? The reason why Black people kill other Black people at the same rate that white people kill other white people is because for Black people, there's a breakdown in the family. Is that what I'm hearing?
Shut up, bitch!
Is that what I'm hearing?
Shut up, bitch!
Domestic violence, women or men or even attack, what is the first thing we say? It's like, you know what? It's not your what? It's not your fault. So that's what we do. We hold on to this narrative that, well, it's not our fault and the issues in our community are not our fault and the white man needs to give us something. The old white lady down the street is looking at me and I don't know why she got braids in her hair. And we focus on all these other stupid things that don't matter. We don't get to the root of the fact that we're killing each other at a higher rate than any other race. It is self-hate.
No, the fuck we're not.
Amongst us, I believe that we can do that. That we, my cousin, my mom's cousin, excuse me, coming from the church parking lot, and guess who stuck her up and robbed her at gunpoint? A Black man.
I need you to get to the point.
Like,
so
my
I can
point
respond.
is that no, and I'm not trying to be funny. Unless, like you said, we're gonna keep it respectful.
Yeah, but you're monopolizing the whole conversation.
I'm
we're
not
not
trying.
being
Okay, I'm
able
gonna let
to...
you speak, but let's not get the
Yes.
attitudes and stuff because you're my sister and I respect you. So
I don't have an attitude. I'm being direct to you.
Let's not do the attitude. The same motherfuckers that's speaking with hands and fingers, let's not get an attitude.
But you're literally speaking this, and you're not going to do that with me either.
Okay,
so you're
I'm
stating your
respecting
point, and you've been stating your point for quite some time.
So
Do you have a reason for me to respond?
Would you allow me to respond? So that's a better response. Go ahead.
The response that I have for you is that everything you're saying does not exist in a vacuum. I actually agree with you in that, yes, there has been an incredible denigration of Black worth and Black pride in this nation. I think it's also very important to acknowledge what has...
But the denigration has come from white people because they've pushed this thing, that Black on Black crime. They've pushed it. If we go to China right now, guess who 99% of Chinese people are getting killed by? Just take a wild guess. Chinese people that are murdered in China. Japanese people that are murdered in Japan. 99.9% of all of those people are being murdered by other Japanese people, by other Chinese people, due to the homo-fucking-genius nature of their goddamn country. This is sick. But what they don't understand is that Black people live in a country within a country. For the majority of us, we live in a country within a country. Most Black people go to Black schools and live in Black neighborhoods. Most white people go to white schools and live in white neighborhoods. This is just the truth. Most Black people, our neighborhoods are homogeneous, well, they have been mostly in the past. Most of our schools from K through at least 8 are fucking homogeneous, but they don't want to talk about that.
Has contributed to that. And to state that it is only Black people that have contributed to that is a false flag. So we have to admit that. So in order to have this conversation around how we got here, you can't say, oh, well, we're caring about the white woman getting braids and that doesn't matter and this thing. All of that attaches. All of that is actually...
No, I don't give a damn about that. That's culture war nonsense. That's useless culture war propaganda, misdirection nonsense. You're not about to get me to sit here and, go back and forth about some white woman wearing braids or about, man, listen, that's culture war nonsense. That's the old 42 fake misdirection. Just so we don't deal with what's actually going on that's affecting us, we want to deal with culture war. Oh, this person's gay. This person's trans. This white woman is wearing braids. This black woman talks proper. Man, the hell with all of that. Let's deal with the actual facts and how we can make things better. I can give a damn about culture war nonsense.
A very big part of the lack of worth of black people.
I'll ask you, do you think we're resilient? What does resilience mean to you? Do you think we have to be perpetual victims, or do you think that black people are resilient?
I think that those are two different conversations. I think that the concept of black people being victims is really trying to not provide accountability to where the root problem for the actual cause is.
Facts.
And if we keep saying that somebody is
facts, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to obfuscate the point. They're trying to obfuscate the point. Oh, you're trying to say you're a victim, so that must mean something. Listen, no, I'm not a victim. But what I do understand is that my people were enslaved for 287 years, and there's a debt that's owed. Simple as that. We ain't got to play around with these points. Damn right, brother.
Cuban Crisis says, down with capitalism and Zionism.
You goddamn right. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. Thanks for coming through, brother. I appreciate you.
a victim, and that doesn't mean that the other person should act.
Hey, stay tuned, Cuban Crisis. We're going to get into a capitalism debate that I'm going to review. So we're probably going to do maybe 15, 20 minutes of this, and we're going to review a capitalism debate. Y'all know how I do.
Have to actually have accountability, then what are we really doing? You can do both. You can be a victim and be resilient.
How do we do both if you stay in the victimhood? That's my question.
But what the fuck are you talking about? So you mean to tell me that a woman who was great, she can't say, hey, I'm a victim, but I'm also resilient? I'm also resilient to where I can tell people my story, but also be considered a victim? You're trying to take away and extract victimhood so much so. You're trying to take that away from black people so much so that you're not even humanizing. You're not even humanizing people. You want to take away just so you can satiate the fucking bellies and the mental of these motherfuckers that descend from these people. You want to satiate their fucking bellies so goddamn much that you can't understand that, yes, I can be a victim. I can speak about my victimhood, but I can also be resilient? What the hell is going on?
Your statement about black people staying in the victim place is also your point of view.
But how do we rise above it?
We continue to rise above it by, one, pouring into our communities with mutual aid.
Exactly. We rise above it by not acquiescing and listening to stupid right-wing talking points that bring us so low to where you have one black woman and another black woman sitting on a panel making money for white people. Jubilee is a white fucking channel. This is how we do it. But what's unfortunate is that you have this channel Jubilee with 10.3 million goddamn subscribers, and in order to make these points, we have to go to these white people's platforms. So when you ask, how do we rise above it? There's a multiplicity of ways we can rise above it. You just don't want to be a part of the ways we can rise above it. You want to engage in the fucking minutia that we already understand and have dealt with. You want to bring this shit up just to pettifog and to misdirect people. That's what you're doing. This is the reason that she's sitting in that seat and there's 20 of you motherfucking coons sitting around her. That's what's happening. So when you ask, well, how do we do this? Well, you have to subtract yourself from the 20 people that's sitting around her. She's the one that's trying to move forward. You're the one that's trying to stop her. Isn't that a goddamn oxymoron that you would be sitting in the seat that you're sitting in, asking her, how do we move forward, when you are trying to put up your greatest attempt to stop her from moving forward? How retarded is that? How sick is that?
But two, by simultaneously making sure that we are challenging the systems that are in place to impede us. We have so many opportunities where we are trying to do mutual aid, and those things get disrupted by folks who want to have capitalist gain, by folks who want privatization. We used to have all these mom and pop businesses in our communities.
There's over 3 million black millionaires in America right now. You are an intelligent black woman that is successful.
That's irrelevant.
No one's stopping me from doing anything.
It's irrelevant. It doesn't, listen. See, it doesn't matter about a few black billionaires or black millionaires. These niggas are not coming to save you. They are not as brainwashed as you are. This is the truth. They are not as brainwashed as you are. The black millionaires and billionaires, the difference between them and you is you grift off of this black conservative shit. And a lot of you idiots begin to yuck it up and actually believe in it. Them, they understand it's a game. So they play the game to win. To continue to have the seat at the table that they sit at. You're never going to be one of them. You forever going to be a fucking big lip, big teeth, no edge having ass bitch. That's who the fuck you're forever gonna be that person. There's not gonna be a day to where you're gonna be rich or and some of this the light bulb is gonna click off. No, you're just gonna forever be one of these goddamn bootlicking coons. But for them, they've made it. So they're okay with the propaganda. Oprah Winfrey is okay with the propaganda. You want to know why? It's because she doesn't want to trade places with you. Michael Jordan is okay with the propaganda because he doesn't want to fucking trade places with you. He's okay with it. You eat up the propaganda. Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, they know, they understand the propaganda. But if they were to ever tell you how fucked up shit really is, you know what it would do? It would run them the risk to being where they were born at, or looking to their right and seeing an ugly bitch like you, or looking to their motherfucking left and seeing a nigga like me eating the same goddamn slop. And that's not what the fuck they want to do. So, in order for them to keep their status, they have to sit back, not say a mumbling word, and let you be the fucking mouthpiece. Allow you to be the fucking crash out dummy. It's important for them to not say a word. It's important for you to say, wait, do you know how many black millionaires there are? How many black billionaires there are? It's imperative you doing it. They don't have to say anything. You're doing the work for them. It's very simple.
Intelligent black woman that graduated and
many efforts have tried to stop me from doing what I do. We are not all equal in our capabilities. And we are not all equal in our ability to be invested in by others.
I agree with
we
you.
are not all equal in our trauma.
Are we resilient?
We can't say because it is a false equivalency.
It is a false equivalency because when you say, are we resilient, you're not talking about yourself. You're not talking about yourself because you don't want to be resilient. You want to suck on a white man's dick to where he can get you out of where you think that you want to go. You don't want to be resilient. Black people are resilient, and your resilience lies in those fucking dick-sucking lips. That's where your resilience lies. Your resilience doesn't lie in fighting for the struggle, going out, marching, protesting, actually trying to fucking change things, actually trying to give yourself your fucking time to black people. That's not where your resilience lies. Your resilience doesn't lie there. So when you ask this fucking stupid question about are we resilient? Yes, we are resilient. We are resilient. But you've thrown resiliency in the fucking garbage by even becoming a fucking right-wing conservative. You've thrown it in the trash. You don't care about resiliency. You've made it clear that your resilience has now become me, me, me. It's all about me, me, me. And my proximity to whiteness. And my proximity to whiteness grows every fucking TikTok that I make to take a shit on black people. Every YouTube video that I make, taking a shit on black people. We've saw the playbook. Look at Candace Owens. She's done the exact same thing. Every chance she got, every check she accepted to take a shit on black people, she did it with a straight face. She did it with a straight face. And look at her now. She's sitting in the big house. This is what these people want. Give me a goddamn break.
That every black person has resilience.
We keep trying, but we keep trying to cause.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out.
First, I want to kind of get rid of this like right left ordeal. I really want to talk about just like our own personal views and what we've experienced, what we've seen. And when it comes to your claim about black on black crime, I really do believe, and I think a lot of people here do believe, especially based off of personal experiences and everything, that it is just lack of accountability. In the black community, we need to start taking responsibility for our actions and stop pointing our fingers at other people and the white man. Because to be honest,
why can't both happen at the same time?
Because
both are causes.
Because you gotta clean your own house before you go complain.
Why?
Because if we're
you're
gonna
dirty.
If you have to clean your own house before you deal with anything else, then why the fuck are you a black conservative? Why aren't you focusing on cleaning the black house? That's very simple. That's not hard. And you would have to agree that embracing white stances, white talking points, white propaganda is not a valiant attempt to clean the black home. It's not. If you want to clean up what you see as a mess, then why the fuck are you aligning yourself with white people? Why are you aligning it? See, this is the type of motherfucking coon that'll sit back in a group of goddamn white people. He'll be at a party. He's the only motherfucker. Man, I was the only nigga there. I was the only nigga there. He's one of them type of negros. These crackers is using the N-word and whatever, and he's totally okay with it. As long as at the end of the night, he can play in the snow. As long as at the end of the night, he can play in the goddamn snow. He's willing to risk it all. Even if they hit him with a goddamn grape charge. They wake up in the morning, they on some shit like, damn, I slept with a motherfucking darkie. Fuck that. You ain't about to catch me with that. 911, yeah. The nigga raped me, y'all. He raped me. Come pick his black ass up. He live at 1122 West Boulevard. Come get that nigga. I felt like he raped me. I was drinking a little bit, but come get him.
In my house.
No.
If you keep pouring shit into my house and I'm cleaning it, why can't I do both? Why can't I clean my house and bar the windows from you shitting on my house?
Because it begins with responsibility within us. If we're like,
so in other words, you can't do both. These cones are amazing.
Okay, oh, the white person's doing this to me. The white person's not. We're not going to ever come to the core of the issue.
They are.
We need to take responsibility.
And it's not even just the white person, because now we have seen very many races, people.
When do black people not take responsibility? When do black people not take responsibility? Like, she should be asking that question. When the last time you saw black people not taking responsibility to where we're just sitting back and we're totally okay with the crime that's going on in our neighborhoods? We're just totally okay with it. It's just totally a great thing. Everybody's cool with it. You know, it's just one of those things, those unspoken rules that we just love it. Like, how the fuck? How? When? Where?
Of very many backgrounds that are actively participating in the effort to keep a working class down. Like that is absolutely a fact. It's not just white people. So I don't attend to that. But I will say the reality of there being systems in place is real. Over-policing is a real thing. You know what's also been really real is the effort of violence interruption in certain communities, right? So we've seen this in Detroit, we've seen this in New York, we've seen this in Baltimore, where there are communities that have said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like a neighborhood watch for our community. So that before the popo even come, before 12 even rolls up in here, we're gonna actually put ourselves in between the conflict and calm it down. And that has been incredibly effective. But you know what? It's not funded. It's not funded. And you would think that like city councils and mayors and governors would say, shit, you know what? This is going to save us so much money. Because why? Taxpayers keep having to pay for the fault of these police officers. And even though we say, well, only a certain number of people have died, that doesn't dispel the fact that a large amount, more black people are imprisoned than any other group in this nation. And that is not by accident.
Again, I started with accountability, and it just seemed like the
But I disagree with you.
No,
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Because here's the thing: look at our media. Look at rap. Look at what we're glorifying.
You're right.
We're glorifying violence.
Who's we? Who's we? Who's
the black community.
Who controls
the black community?
Who controls the distribution of these sources of media?
And who takes it in?
And
who takes it in?
Listen, if you're okay, so let me put it in this context. If I have a company, right, and you guys are my employees, and I determine what you get to eat every day.
What's going on, Fourth Dynasty? What's happening, man? Peace to you.
That's also going to determine how you exist in this company, right? Like if you come to work and I say the only thing you can eat is processed foods and fried foods, and you're not going to get to have the best vegetables, etc. What's that going to affect? Your health. That's going to affect your ability to operate.
It's going to affect the overall outcome. If you live in a goddamn food desert and oh my God,
etc. This is how the United States operates. There's a lot of us that don't want to admit that as much as accountable as we want to be, all of our brains also don't operate the same way. Some of us are much more apt to be
right. As much as accountable that some of us may be, can be, will be, are, you still have people that live in fucking food deserts. You still have people who get the main source of their goddamn food from a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, a goddamn, what's the shit? The dollar store. Used to be the dollar store. They're eating fucking Kraft macaroni and cheese. Like stuff like that, like we're feeding to our children in abject fucking poverty. Do you know poverty is, what is it, like $25,000 a year? That's fucking poverty. And that's what, $10 an hour? That's poverty. And the minimum wage is $7 and what, 25-50 cents? How does this not affect the outcomes when you live in abject fucking poverty? You live in poverty.
Indoctrinated than others. That's a fact. There is a 1% of people that knows this. There's a whole show called Mad Men that's about advertising, etc. And if we don't acknowledge multiple things at the same time, then we simply cannot stop it. We can be as accountable as we want to be. And I hope that if you're right, because I hope you're right, I wish that it was a situation where if black people could just be accountable, then nothing else would matter. But unfortunately, that hasn't been the case because we have seen...
Right, because what they want to say is if black people are accountable, then things would change. No, black people can be as accountable as we want to, but we only control one of the three goddamn levers. We can be accountable to ourselves, but if there's other things that are going on that we do not control, then we can't really affect our own outcomes. Yeah, 1 out of 100 niggas can make over 50 or 60,000. Okay, cool. But what about everybody else? Do we just not care about them?
When we have Black Wall Street in Tulsa and we have Black Wall Street in Durham, that when we actually do hold our own and build our own communities, they will still come and run it down.
Pause. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Nah, I don't even know if I know who Brother Panic is. I don't even know if I know that brother. He said you funny just like him. Shit, I ain't even trying to be funny. I'm just talking some real ish. I'm just being honest.
Oh my God.
Joshua.
Hello, Joshua.
The coons were fighting y'all. God damn.
Yeah. So I have 2 claims I want to settle. So I'm originally from New Orleans, right? And I've seen black on black crime my whole life, right?
Yes.
I don't believe it have nothing to deal with the police. It's more with the community, because there's a lot of pride that's in that city, where to the point where this person can't tell me nothing, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah.
It's that simple in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Now in Cali it's probably the same way, but I feel like
Cuban Crisis says, if everyone was accountable, capitalism will still be and do capitalism.
This is the part that they don't understand. This is the part that they don't understand. They don't understand the role that capitalism plays in keeping black people poor. But mostly, I'll say secondarily, something that they also don't understand is that the majority of white people in this country are also poor. They don't understand the role that capitalism plays in white people being poor. They don't even understand it. It's crazy.
Every state is different. You probably the way how your belief is might be right, but in New Orleans it's a little different. Also, my second claim is this: we proclaim so much about Black Lives Matter, but when it comes down to a white person killing a black person, it's a big deal. It just don't make.
All right, this is stupidity. This is utter nonsense. This is utter nonsense. This is utter nonsense. Black Lives Matter. I knew somebody eventually would say this stupid shit. Because these are the only things that they can say. Black on black violence, rap music, single parent homes, Black Lives Matter. Listen, do you understand what Black Lives Matter is for? Do you understand the reason why Black Lives Matter was fucking created? Black Lives Matter was not created to patrol fucking black neighborhoods to stop niggas from killing niggas. Black Lives Matter was to highlight police officers, white police officers, or police officers in general, unjustly killing black people. So why do stupid, ignorant black people continuously say, oh man, you never see Black Lives Matter when a black person kill another black person? Because that's not what it's for. It wasn't constructed to do that. That's not what it was constructed for. That's like saying, yo, why do the NFL referees, they don't never have nothing to say when LeBron James foul Kenyon Martin or whatever the fuck? Nigga, it's 2 different things. It's 2 different things. Black Lives Matter was constructed for something totally different. And they play their position. I think personally they outplayed their position with a lot of the gay shit and all of that. Yes, I think they outplayed their position and kind of went a little rogue. But overall, the position, I ain't gonna say overall, I'll say initially what Black Lives Matter was for was to highlight when police officers unjustly kill or harm black people. That's what it was for. That's what it was for. It had nothing to do with white on white violence, Hispanic on Hispanic violence, black on black violence. It had nothing to do with that. But the stupid, low IQ fucking black conservative, they're going to bring up Black Lives Matter. No, that's not what Black Lives Matter was for. It wasn't. Stop using that fucking point. If you want to make a coherent or cogent point, stop using Black Lives Matter. Stop using it. Stop, please stop using it. You niggas sound dumb. You sound smart to other stupid, and you sound smart to white conservatives, and they'll be like, yeah, but no, to a person who actually knows what's going on. And the sad part about it is black people should know that. Black people should know that the only reason this even came about was due to the fucking injustice that black people were suffering from the hands of the goddamn police. Why are black people using these talking points? You should know better.
No sense to me.
Do you know what the statement Black Lives Matter is actually stating?
Yeah, well, like, you know, just started off from George Floyd.
Start off from Mike Brown.
Mike Brown, okay.
It didn't even start from George Floyd. Like, he's a bonehead. He's already a bonehead.
So Black Lives Matter is really simply just stating that when black people are murdered by the police,
oh, there we
that
go.
our lives.
Yeah, I never watched this, y'all. But it's real.
Lives should matter, and that oftentimes it is not considered. It is oftentimes presented as we deserved it, or we must have done.
This was the whole white lives matter and all lives matter. This was the whole reason why that stupid coon ass nigga Kanye came out saying white lives matter, and Candace Owens, she came out talking about some white lives matter. This was the whole thing. Black people understood it. White people tried to appropriate it to mean something else. And as I stated, these stupid black conservatives, they got caught up in the damn propaganda. They got caught up in the propaganda. It had nothing to do with just some regular dude getting murdered by black people. It had nothing to do with that.
And something to cause it, and that our lives are disposable. We also don't ever see true justice on the same level as others when the police incur violence against black people. So Black Lives Matter is a statement asserting that our lives are worth justice, our lives are worth preservation, and we have seen in innumerable instances a level of restraint operated between the police and people of other races that they do not seem to carry with black people. So that's what Black Lives Matter means. It doesn't mean that anyone else's life doesn't matter. It means that ours matter just as much as their life.
Yo, isn't this like kind of crazy that a black person has to educate another black person on what the fuck Black Lives Matter was for? Isn't it kind of surreal in a way? Isn't it kind of weird?
That's good that you cleared it out for people. You know, yeah,
no, she cleared it up for you, you cool.
I appreciate you. Now, as it comes to New Orleans, tell me this. Well, first of all, it was, I think it's the senator of Louisiana who literally made a campaign ad.
Speaking of Louisiana, hold on. Damn, I ain't even got the video. Hold on. Let me find this video. Because I just was just so happening. Yeah, I want y'all to see this goddamn video. Check this out.
My grandma, one of y'all, if y'all out there, you heard me, and y'all hear your son, just let me know y'all living, you heard me, because I ain't seen y'all since Katrina hit, and I really missing y'all.
This is after Katrina. I don't know if y'all were adults at the time, you know, when y'all was seeing this, but I was an adult. And this shit was sick, bro. This was sick, bro. This was like the beginning of my awakening, but I just wasn't there yet. But this was like, all right, peace, bro. This was like the beginning of my awakening.
You feel me? And I'm hurting. See this body right here? That woman been dead since Tuesday.
There's 6 bodies upstairs on the 3rd floor, and another lady laying on the floor by the lady's bathroom dead. It's just terrible. It's an awful situation to have to live in.
We went inside the convention center, and the only way that I can describe it, and I don't want to get into detail, is that it is the smell of human suffering.
stores too. We didn't have no food. We don't have nothing here. If the police taking it out the stores, we expect if he kept our children been out here for days, they don't have nothing to eat. We don't have no cold water. Come back and have no ice. We got babies that's hungry. Send people to get the folks out of here, folks. We hungry, we starving, we need help. We need medical attention. They got old people that's sick. They got people dying.
I felt neglected.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy on every level. That's crazy.
Kennedy it was that said, do you want Louisiana to be run by crackheads? Like he said that, like straight
they
up.
They have a bunch of them there. Yeah. They
so
do.
Here's my question about New Orleans.
For this nigga to talk about he from New Orleans and don't understand the devastation that happened to his people and try to sit here and talk like this, it's just crazy to me, bro. It's crazy to me how these people can just sit here and talk and see what the people of New Orleans like just went through. It's crazy to see what they went through. And this nigga just sitting here like, fuck it, you know, black on black crime, y'all. Black on black crime. That just fixes everything.
Would you say that New Orleans gets, that particular areas of New Orleans, for instance, like the Ninth Ward?
The Ninth Ward is crazy, but I'm just saying they crazy.
Would you say that funding and attention is dispersed equally across New Orleans in terms of resources? Because I know that from living through Katrina, that is absolutely not the case.
I agree with you in that case. Everybody's not equal when it comes down to resources. For sure, I agree with you.
Here's the thing I want to just...
So how the fuck are you a black conservative, bruh? If you see that the people that can disperse the monies are not dispersing them, you woke up and said, I'm going to be a black conservative? Have you seen the videos and the documentaries for New Orleans and what actually happened? And you just woke up one day and said, I'm a black conservative? To see how these crackers treated your direct people. I call them my people because they black, but your direct people. Mama and them, grandma and them, all of them. You was probably a shorty. Bro, you glad to be a fucking lie. You was probably in Pampers when it hit. This dude was probably in Pampers when it hit. And he don't even see it. He don't even see it, bro.
In part, is that I think that we have a very distorted version of what resiliency and what restorative practice is, because we live in a time where we're seeing so many things happen so fast. So like we've seen technology like advance so fast, right? Like we have seen just our lives shift so fast that I think that we forget that as humans, our ability to recalibrate, to heal from trauma is simply not the same as the things that we are watching in technology. And so we cannot just casually think that people just get over things. Katrina, people in New Orleans are still reeling from Katrina.
Yeah, they are. That's true. That's true. That is true.
But see, the problem with him is he's able to get over it. Because he was in Pampers or probably wasn't even born when this happened. Meanwhile, when you look at a lot of these different wars and a lot of these things that happen, crackers and white rich people done bought up all of this stuff, rebuilt it, and they're leasing this stuff out to white people to have. These homes in these neighborhoods that black people used to live in, black people don't even live in anymore. But he woke up one day and decided he's going to be a conservative, when part of the history of the city that he's from has been taken from him. That's crazy, bro.
So when we talk about the amount of crime and violence that is still living and happening explicitly in Katrina, we have to also talk about the amount of trauma, the amount of drug use, the amount of policing, the amount of all of these things that physically harm people across the world, not just in the United States, across the world, in communities that are not being served, and how those communities never get the chance to quote unquote pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
Yeah, I agree. I personally agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that was
for sure.
fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
No problem.
Well, at least he was able to understand.
Before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thank you. Emissions helps you quit the bubble. Full back clarity or also.
Hello? Hello, John.
All right, this is the last cone I'm gonna listen to. That we're gonna go to another video, a capitalism debate.
Samuel.
Hello, John Samuel. First name. All right.
Blame my parents.
Hi, parents.
I want to listen to you first. Why do you feel that? Why do you feel that way?
Oh, John went to debate training before he came here. Okay. Ultimately, I feel that way because it's simply just facts. It's in the books, and that's why there have been laws to challenge it. There have been innumerable instances where actual systems were created specifically for the impediment of Black people to advance. We have also seen innumerable instances where there were things created for Black people to advance, and they were taken back under the auspices of, we don't want them to advance. Ultimately, systemic racism exists in our institutions on a government level, in our institutions, whether it's prisons or schools, and it is undeniable because they are actively trying to reinstate it right now.
Can you give me an example of one of those systems that you believe perpetuates that cycle of racism? Redlining? Okay. Yes. And how does that, can you elaborate? How is that affecting the Black community?
Do you know what redlining is?
I know a little bit. I'm not an expert.
Oh my God. How do you come to a debate and how do you come to a debate and you don't have an argument for some of the things that Black people are going to bring up that are actively affecting us as a people, and you say, well, I don't really know how it works. How is that possible? They just grabbed the quickest 20 coons they could find.
Redlining was a system that was created to determine property values and that said Black people can only live in certain neighborhoods and not in other neighborhoods. And the redlining lowered the property values of those Black neighborhoods by stating that they were more savage, that they were more dangerous, etc. Thus, they were not able to own property that was on a level of par to their white counterparts. There were also many efforts at just simply not allowing Black people to get loans for property, putting them in predatory scenarios where they were being essentially unable to own land. And that inability to own land, but still having to pay out a mortgage, if you will, or a rent, continued to put Black people in a conundrum of not being able to excel at the same economic rate as their white counterparts.
You know the saddest thing about redlining? The saddest thing about redlining is when you look at the 2008 economic crash, when white people decided to turn the gun on their own people, it crashed the fucking system. It's just crazy in so many ways if you actually understood what happened. It's just crazy, bro.
What I'm hearing from you, if I'm hearing correctly, is it feels like in the United States that for a while we've kind of established these systems at their foundation and they've continued on and they've continually just oppressed Black people and we haven't dismantled them and we haven't done much so they continue to complete the cycle. Is that what I'm?
No, it's not that we haven't dismantled them, it's that we can't dismantle them. It's only about 44 million of us. We can't dismantle it. That's just a fact. We cannot do it. Fuck what any nigga is telling you. We cannot do it. We just can't.
I'm hearing correctly?
Well, in many of these systems, they have been dismantled maybe in name, but because this country has never dismantled the culture of racism, they end up still living in practice. So we see that, for instance, in the way that the appraisal system works. Now, we saw there was an entire documentary on how appraisals have been also very racist, home appraisals, right? So your ability to sell your house for the value that it deserves.
Right.
There were a number of homes, particularly in Marin County, California, where Black people had one appraisal when they had their Blackness up. So they had their dashikis hanging, and they had their, they had their Black Good Times poster. But then when they removed all of those items and put up white people and a dog in the house and then had their white friends come and pose as the owners of the home, the appraisal was significantly higher. And we have seen that in a number of instances. Now, of course, that is just Marin County, but there are a number of other scenarios where this has been relayed. And that's why why there were certain efforts by the Democratic Party to state, okay, well, we're going to try and step in for this?
I actually remember that case, and I watched it with the family, and I thought that was just really just terrible. But the problem I guess I have with systemic...
So he watched that and he saw it was terrible. Huh. So he watched it and he thought it was just terrible. So his next move was to see how terrible it was. His next move was not to try and find out about how this disproportionately affects black people. His thing was, well, there must be some way they can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Like, is that where he went?
Systemic racism is, I guess, for somebody like me, where my family comes from, the Deep South. You probably don't even know it, Aliceville, Alabama.
Okay.
That's where my grandparents are from. And my grandpa came, if you saw the house that he grew up in, I'm not trying to be funny, it looked like a slave house. It was just, they grew up in poverty. And the fact that he was able to go from that and get the highest rank enlisted in the United States Navy amidst, all these, systems, so to speak, and he was able to buy his own house out in San Diego. He was able to, pass on these things to his son, my dad, and his grandchildren.
Survivorship bias. So because his dad was able to do it, then that must mean that every black person was able to do it. Because his dad was able to do it. Survivorship bias.
Now I'm able to get an education. I was able to get my undergrad, my master's.
There you go. There you go. It always goes there. Me. Now I'm able to go to school. Now I'm able to get my master's. Now I'm able to graduate. It's always me. It's always me. Now I'm able to do this. Now I'm able to do that. So now when you look at the other black people who didn't have what your father had or what your grandfather had, it's fuck them. It's to hell with them because you're concerned with me. Survivorship bias, regular nonsense, regular coon.
The great-great-grandson of enslaved peoples can now say that, educated and can even run for Congress. I don't see how these systems are still in place as they were before. Because before, I would say you do have a little bit of...
How do you not see that these systems are still in place? Oh, I forgot. Me. I forgot.
A foothold. You do have some validity there. But I just think these days, when we call it systemic racism, really what we're calling it is those people who may still be in those institutions, those individual people who may actually be racist and hold some racist ideals, who are continuing to perpetuate this. I believe it's those people. So in all reality, the problem is not the systemic racism. The problem is us. The problem starts with...
This dude just said it's not systemic racism. He's understanding that he's the exception to the fucking rule. He's understanding on one hand that he's the exception to the rule. But on the other hand, it can't be systemic. On one hand, he's understanding I'm the exception to the rule because my family was lifted out of slavery, and it had to be that we lifted ourselves up out of their bootstraps. It had to be that. So, sir, question for you. If these things were passed down to you and the other black people who you want to challenge, these things were not passed down to them, why is it that you look at them the same way and expect them to have the same upbringing that you had? Would you understand that not everybody had this? This is crazy. His position on where he stands is in and of itself systemic racism. Because what racism allows is a few niggas to slip through the goddamn cracks. Just so the niggas who didn't make it through the cracks can A, hate him, and then B, what he can do is look back and talk shit about them. This is the system of racism. This is the system. This is how it works. This is how it works.
With those people who are perpetuating these, kind of, racist ideals. And so I feel like just to attack these systems is just, it's nonsensical.
Who's running the systems?
Like which system? You're talking about
Whether
Congress,
it's the
government?
whether it's the prison industrial complex, we're seeing this now with immigration and ICE. We're seeing this also with the effort at not making schools available for equal level of schooling available with the voucher systems that are now allowing tax dollars to allow people to go to segregated schools.
Right.
Who is controlling those?
God damn it, Tone, didn't I tell you? God damn it, Tone, didn't I tell you? We got to stop saying systematic. We got to start saying systemic. Didn't I tell y'all? We got to stop saying systematic racism. It's systemic. But nah, I rock with you, bro. I just wanted to put that out there. It's systemic, not systematic. We got to stop saying that. I know it's just what we say. I get it. But it's systemic, not systematic.
System. So for instance, in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
So in Tennessee, you have a Senate and a House of Representatives that is largely controlled.
Oh my God. Selecta Blazer just dropped a goddamn bomb. Damn, you dropped a bomb.
Selecta Blazin and hashtag 039 says. What about the other grandchild of the guy that fought in Tunhee Navy with his granddad but never made it back? Did they have the same outcome?
Exactly. So he's doing this me. What about the other what about the other grandchildren who are also children of this person that was in the Navy and all of this? Did they all make it to where you made it to? To where you got your master's and you got your degree? Did they all make it there? No. Because there's not room for all of us niggas. There's not. Damn it. Hey, appreciate that, Selecta Blazer. That's a goddamn bomb.
Controlled by white Republicans and that have actively said, we are not going to consider what the people want in our constituencies. We are going to simply just do.
Yeah, thank you for fixing that, bruh. Systemic. Yeah, man, it's systemic. Like, I know we say systematic. I'm just kind of joking, but it's systemic, not systematic. I know.
Do what we want to do to the point where they have removed.
So it's only in those states that have largely white legislators, or
no, it's not only in those states. It's also in your own goddamn family, numbskull. It's also in your own family.
Largely white people are controlling these systems. I'm not trying to put
All right,
words in your
guys, I'm so sorry. You have been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Sit your cold ass down. And then he got the fucking the wrestler mustache, like just the whole coon. Why the fuck they got this pregnant? Let me not say that. All right, let's go to a different debate. We finna get into capitalism. Yeah. I know. You hate capitalism. I hate it too. I hate capitalism too, and this is what we should be talking about. So let's cover this capitalism debate. Let's get into it.
Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
Brendan. My age is 20.
So you meant to say systemic, but you typed systematic. I got you, bro. No biggie.
3, and then my pronouns, I guess, just he, him.
Okay, Brendan. 23, he, him. Okay, Brendan, what topic on the board did you want to debate about today?
I specifically wanted to talk about capitalism is the worst.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask some qualifying questions first, if that's all right.
Sure.
All right, hold on. Let me pause this. Y'all know what it is. I'll drop the link so y'all can go catch this in its entirety. Shout out to my main man, Jovan. He be having some good debates on his channel. I think you should go and subscribe and check him out. He has a lot of good debates on his channel. Let's go.
So what would be like your ideal form of system?
I flirt with communism a bunch. I think that decommodifying the necessary resources that are required to survive is probably a good thing. So unprivatizing ownership is probably going to be a much better system than privatizing ownership.
Okay. If you had to closely relate it to a country that now exists or has existed in the past, which one would you say is closest to your form of system? Just so I can get a better understanding.
Cuba, probably.
Cuba?
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that. Caught him with his pants down. He wasn't expecting him to say Cuba. I'm glad he said that, though.
Okay. So as far as how you would go about achieving your ideal system, so would it be like a transitionary state, or would you be trying to vote in democratically?
There has to be a transitionary state, number one. And number two, there ain't no goddamn voting socialism, man. That shit ain't happening. You can forget about it.
And then switch on to authoritarianism and then enact these policies. Which way would you go?
I don't think we'll be able to vote ourselves out of capitalism. I think when it comes to like voting right now, voting is always going to be controlled by capital. So it'd probably need to be some level of worker-led revolution.
Well, let me say this. In America, there's no way that you're going to vote yourself out of capitalism. In America, you're not going to vote yourself out of it. Because the way how this particular system is set up is capital rules, reigns, and runs the day. So capital tells you who are going to be your two, because we have this duopoly. Capitalism is going to tell you who are going to be your two combatants. So yeah, not happening.
Whether that's worker strikes or worker revolts, that's up to the people, how they want to handle that.
So the only problem with that I would see is that you'd probably, regardless of how you actually do the revolution, 30% of people probably won't be willing to give up their private capital, right? Or like even like more like.
And who the fuck is that a problem for? Because 30% of the people don't want to give up their capital. Who is that a problem for? Here, let me drop the link. I meant to drop it like an hour ago. But yeah, that's the StreamYard link if anybody want to come in. My bad, I meant to drop it and when we was talking about the last video. But if you guys want to come in and say a thing or two, there it is. But let's go.
50%, 60%. You could even go up to 70% if you're talking about the United States.
I promise
so
you.
Like that would have to be like.
Wait. I just gotta let you know. Way less than 60% of people own capital.
Well, the state would have to control private property in your system, right?
Well, if I'm going communism, there is no private property, so the state wouldn't be controlling anything.
Yeah, these people, for some reason, they don't understand private property. Like the average bootlicker who espouse capitalism, they don't understand private property. It's sad almost.
Okay, so how would you get to where nobody controls anything now and it's just held by the communes? Because without a transitionary state, that would feel very impossible and idealistic.
Why does it feel impossible to you?
Because typically, I mean, if you follow the ideology of like Marxist-Leninists, right, they have advocated for that transitionary state because you need the authoritarian power to enact these policies that you want.
Wrong. You don't need authoritarian power. The same way you don't need authoritarian power for capitalism, you don't need authoritarian power for socialism. That's just a lie. What you need is you need the people to back it. That's it. That's all. By way of revolution. Bullshit.
Why?
Because most people aren't going to be on board with it, right?
Yeah, why would most people not be on board with it?
Because they like capitalism generally.
Yeah. Why do most people like capitalism?
Well, I mean, so far it has been the most prosperous system that we've seen.
In what way has it been prosperous? Like, how are you defining prosperous?
In terms of like capital gain, propping up people, higher salaries.
Wait.
Developing the world, for example.
Wait. So you're measuring that capitalism is better than other systems by a capitalist metric? Capitalism's always gonna win in that case. That's like if I said, if I'm like basketball's better than baseball. Well, why is basketball better than baseball? Because in basketball you score more baskets. Well, duh. There's no baskets in baseball. So why are we measuring it? But why are we measuring capitalism by capitalism standards?
Because there's no realistic form of communism that I can debate against right now.
What he just gave you? You asked him and he gave you Cuba. So now when you say it's not realistic, you're actually either lying or you're not paying attention because he gave you Cuba.
What are you talking about? I'm not asking you to debate communism. I'm asking you to look at standards, like come up with a standard of what makes a system good. If you're
to answer your question, Fourth Dynasty, to a degree, yes, I am for socialism, but I'm a communist. So yes, to a degree, I am for socialism, but ultimately, I'm a communist.
Your standard for what makes a system good is people get money, then obviously capitalism is always going to win.
That doesn't exist or never has.
Talking about communism.
He just told you that it exists, and you asked him for an example, and he gave you Cuba. He gave you Cuba. What are you talking about? How do you measure it against something that doesn't exist? He just gave you Cuba. Why don't you use Cuba? It's very simple. Like, bro, capitalists are the stupidest. Well, excuse me, some of the stupidest motherfuckers, because they're just dumb. You asked him what system would he prefer to operate under. He said, hey, communism. Well, can you give me a modern day example? He said Cuba. Now he's forgotten everything he was told.
Communism and socialism both have very detailed structures listed out in multiple works, right? If we're talking about what is
we've never seen a real world implementation.
That has nothing
of it,
to do with the standard. That has nothing to do with standards.
Did we?
That has nothing to do with standards, bro.
Did we ever get the drawbacks of full-on communism?
Wait. Do you understand why saying capitalism is good because it makes you the most money is a terrible standard to look at something?
Again, I don't have any standards to combat against communism.
I'm not asking you if you have standards for communism. I'm asking if you understand that saying the phrase capitalism is good because it gets you more capital is a really dumb way to look at metrics for the quality of a system.
Number one, it's stupid, and number two, it's a fucking tautology. Number one, it's stupid, and number two, it's a goddamn tautology. Well, number one should be as a tautology, and number two, it's fucking stupid.
Do you think that a society with more capital will inherently be more prosperous than a society without capital?
Fuck.
No.
So
a society with less capital, generally speaking today.
This dummy is still using capitalist metrics to establish the point.
Do you think that it is less prosperous than a society with more capital?
Let me ask you a. I'll answer this by asking.
That you completely just dodged that question.
I'm not dodging the question. We're still on that. We're on that dialogue tree.
So if I took Uganda, right, with its form of capital, right, and they're compared to the United States or any Nordic country, do you think? Well, which one do you think is more prosperous?
Uganda is capitalist, and Uganda has suffered from fucking years and years of fucking colonialism. Uganda's had their wealth systematically stolen.
So inherently,
from them.
a country with better capital is going to be more prosperous.
That's not better.
Correct?
That's theft. If I steal all your money, am I better off because is the system good? No, you're just an idiot who doesn't understand how questions work. Fucking Christ, bro. If we're saying, hey guys, theft. If I said this to you, if I said stealing is better than working, would you agree?
Yeah, we're not talking about stealing now.
No, see, watch how they never answer the question. They never answer this shit. It's so easy.
You agree, yes
more
or no?
less
No
capital,
shit. It's a
right?
fucking analogy,
The question was about more or less capital.
Duh, we're not
stealing.
talking
Do
about
I
stealing,
disagree
stupid. It's an
that people
analogy,
have
you
put down
fucking
Africa?
idiot.
No, I don't disagree
It's an
with that.
analogy,
You're
dumbass.
not understanding my question.
It's an
You're not
analogy,
understanding
dumb
it.
fuck. It's
I
an
asked you
analogy.
specifically,
It's an analogy,
if a country
stupid.
with
Fuck
more
in
capital
Christ.
is going to be more
How do these
prosperous
callers
on
don't know what
average than a
fucking
country with
analogies
less
are,
capital?
bro?
And you can't answer
How do
that question.
these people? I've
because
already
you
answered
want
the
a
question.
violent revolution
I've
that would
answered
kill,
the question, dummy.
Admit it. You would want
I've answered
to
the
kill
question.
40% of
I've answered
people.
the question. I've answered. If they don't give up their capital,
Admit it.
bye. Sorry.
Yeah,
Bye.
so
See
you
ya.
would kill them all, wouldn't you? You
No,
would genocide capitalists.
there's a whole nother option here. They give up their capital.
Say it. Say it. Say it. Say you would genocide capitalists.
I wouldn't.
But how would they give up their capital?
Who looks fucking stupid. So again, let's go through what
Then
a
how would
fucking
they give up their
analogy is.
capital?
Let's go through what an analogy
Then
is.
how would they give
so
up
when
their capital?
Holy shit, do you think you run this conversation?
Then how would they give up their capital?
Do you think you run this conversation?
This dummy just said, how would they give up their capital? It's very fucking simple. It's very simple. Elon Musk controls billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars. You know how he gives up his capital? He relinquishes his fucking rights in everything that he fucking owns when it comes to Tesla, SpaceX, and all that other shit. You give it the fuck up. That's how it works. It's very simple. It's not even difficult. Just give it the fuck up. What the hell?
Great. He's muted. So this way, he's muted chat. So this way I can just talk. Because apparently people don't know how fucking conversations work in this fucking day and age. They want to debate, but they don't know how conversations work. So he'll be muted until I finish my sentence, and then he can unmute. So if I were to tell you, chat, hey, working is better than stealing. Okay? And someone said, why? And I said, because working, I have more money. And then I come back with, well, what if I just stole all your money? Then would stealing be a better system? Would stealing be a better system in that vein, chat? Would it? So when he goes, well, hey, look.
No, stealing would not be the better system, but stealing would be the system that would allow you to amass the fucking capital that you have, which Europe, along with the so-called West, has done to Africa. This is what the fuck has happened. Like, it's crazy how they don't understand this shit.
The U.S. is better.
And these are your supposed fucking intelligent white folk that want to say, oh man, blacks are dumb, we're stupid, all of this shit. And they can't even understand these basic fucking points. Just basic stuff they can't understand. But blacks are stupid.
Because it has more capital than a country like Uganda that's had its wealth systematically stolen from it. Oh, but that makes it better, right? Because theft in his mind, theft equals better because capitalists always end up going might is right. Next, when we have the conversation and he goes, well, capitalism is better because it gets you more capital. Okay? He's arguing under a metric that only exists under the one system. So when I say, hey, is basketball better than baseball because in basketball you get more baskets? That's a stupid way to analyze something. Now, we can go, hey, has there ever been a system in which didn't involve capitalism, which is the privatization of property, in which there wasn't this massive inequality? Yeah, you can look at fucking indigenous tribes all over the fucking world who did not have a private property ownership. I would argue a system in which everybody shares equally and there is no widespread disenfranchisement of people in said system, and there isn't this mass disparity of people starving versus people who are hoarding more wealth than they'll ever be able to use in their life, is actually a lot better than a system that does the opposite 100% of the time.
And this is the crazy shit that they believe in. They think that the system that allows for 50 people to just hoard wealth is better than a system that allows everybody to have their bellies full, everybody to have their needs met. These people think that this system is the better system, but the moment that they fall on hard times, they're applying for food stamps and all of this other shit. Like, what the hell? It's retarded.
Now, let's see if he can actually give a metric that makes capitalism better. Let's hear. Now you're unmuted. Answer the question.
Okay, appreciate you unmuting me. So, your first point, I wasn't arguing whether stuff was stolen from Africa. All right, I was just saying that generally speaking, in today's society, a country with more capital is just going to be.
Hey, Mr. X, the agnostic, if you say that communism is a terrible system, the link is pinned in the chat, and feel free to tell me why. Feel free to tell me why. But if you just want to stay in the chat and just say it's bad, that's cool too. That's cool. I won't be mad at you.
Be more prosperous, right? That's all I was saying. And you didn't answer that question, which is why I kept repeating it.
Why is the country?
You acknowledge that?
Why is the country who's had its wealth taken lack capital?
What? I'm not asking why though.
But that's the problem. You're saying it's better while only looking at half the equation.
I said more prosperous for the people.
Yes, a country that has its wealth stolen can't be as prosperous as countries that steal wealth. Yes.
Okay, well, you're mind-fucking to rephrase on that, but generally speaking,
case.
A country with more capital is going to be more beneficial to its citizens than a country with less capital.
The countries that steal are more prosperous than the countries that get stolen from. 100%.
I can't believe you can't even concede this. It's ridiculous.
I just said 100%. But the problem is you're just saying they're more prosperous because they have more capital. Why do they have more capital?
We aren't talking about stolen funds. I may agree with you that Uganda got its stuff stolen by the United States. Sure.
So if you agree that Uganda is having their funds taken away from them, then you have to agree that when you're using this stupid metric, then yes, these countries that are having their GDP and their funds stolen from them, those countries will be better. Like, that's just simple. These countries that are having their wealth stolen from them, they will be better. Because they're having their wealth stolen from them. How the fuck can you say, well, this country who, they're producing, but they're having 30% of their wealth stolen from them? How the fuck do you not understand what's going on?
Sure, that's fine.
Then it's not
I don't have a
but that's what
problem
I'm saying.
you
lack nuance in all of these questions.
Like you just can't even concede a simple point like that.
Because you're not
so
having a nuanced
having
answer.
A conversation like this?
Because it's not a black and white answer.
You won't even acknowledge that you'd be genociding capitalists.
I wouldn't be. They would be choosing to die.
Do with the capitalists if they don't give up their private property?
They would choose to die. They don't have to die.
So you're genociding, right?
No, they have a choice.
Yo, isn't this funny? Isn't this funny because this same person would say, well, black people, they could have just chose to die rather than just be slaves. But then when you put the onus on these capitalists, it's like, no, you're just killing capitalists. Well, they can choose to fucking die, or they can choose to give up their capital. But when you talk about slaves, it's like, well, they can choose to continue to be, they can choose to be slaves, or they can just fucking throw themselves over the fucking boat and just drown. Why is it not the same for capitalists? Why can't they just either A, choose to give up their capital, or B, just die in a revolution? They're making a choice. The same way how they say slavery was a choice. Well, guess what? Choosing to keep your capital, which ain't going to be worth nothing, that's a death sentence. Simple as that.
They have a choice. So either give up their capital or face the wall.
So if Hitler asked gay people if they could stop being gay and then they choose to die if they don't, is that a choice?
Hitler didn't do that. Hitler didn't give a choice.
Is that a choice, dog?
What are you talking about? Hitler didn't give a choice.
I mean, I'm saying if he did, though, would that be a choice?
Yo, look at the extent that a person with no capital will go to. They would talk about Hitler, a person with no capital, they will go to the extent to talk about Hitler to try to make a point when they literally have no fucking capital. They cannot affect the goddamn beef market. They can't affect the chicken market. They can't affect none of this shit that's actually happening to them at this very moment. They can't affect this shit because they don't have capital. They don't control capital. They have nothing to control this shit. But the way how they argue for capital is exactly what I was talking about with these stupid coon ass black conservatives. They don't control shit, but they fight and argue for it. There's 3 fucking companies that control 70 to 80 fucking percent of all of the goddamn beef, and you think that you're doing what? You're not doing anything to this system. You're not doing anything. It's crazy.
If a
You didn't.
Christian group goes up to a group of gay people,
I'll
and
make it
asks
even
them
easier
if
for you.
they
I'll make it
stop
even
being
easier
gay,
for
they
you.
won't kill them.
I'll
Is
make
that
it.
a
I'll make
choice?
it. I'll make it even easier. We won't even kill all the capitalists, right? We won't kill them. We'll just ship them off to an island, and they can live on an island called Ancapistan for the rest of their life.
With no
They can
capital.
stay on that island. Have fun.
Removing them.
We'll ship them over to an island with no capital. With no capital. We'll ship them over there with no capital, and what happens?
And shipping to a place where they can just
They can
not
they
be
can do
integrated into
capitalism.
society, and then
They can
steal
go
all
to
their
that island and
property,
do
right?
capitalism. They can go to that island and do capitalism.
And the people who refuse to leave, what would you do with them?
Wait,
What if they
if I'm
refuse to leave with
wait, I'm
arms?
stealing their property. I'm just becoming.
Why are we talking about people that no? Let's just ship these capitalists over to this island, allow them to practice capital. All of these billionaires, millionaires, let's just put them over to this own little island and they can practice capitalism amongst themselves. Why not do that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with shipping all when the revolution happens? No, we don't have to kill people. We could just ship all of the capitalists onto one little island. And we can allow them to practice capitalism on this one little fucking island. And they're free to practice capitalism all they want for however many years that they survive. Fun fact, they won't survive. Everybody's gonna fucking die on that bitch. Everybody. And the motherfuckers that don't die, they're gonna be the people that's begging us to come back and fucking pick their ass up. Just so they can do this fucking jobs of picking cotton and picking strawberries that they say nobody wants to do. That's what the fuck they're gonna do. After about 200 motherfucking days, the motherfuckers will be willing to come back to pick cotton, to pick strawberries, tomatoes, all of that shit. They will be willing to come back. They will kill each other just so they can come back. These same capitalists, they will kill each other just to come back to pick fucking strawberries and all of that other shit.
Becoming more prosperous, right? So my system is better because it would be more prosperous.
I mean, sure.
That was your conceit, right? Is that the system that is more prosperous?
Yeah, I mean, technically,
the
you
system
would
with the
become
more
more
capital.
prosperous.
Okay, then
Yes.
what's your
I mean,
then?
that's true.
My
If
system is
If
better.
you were a single actor and you were stealing a bunch of property, you would technically become
Then
more
my
prosperous,
system
yes.
is better than your system.
I don't think those 2 points conflate. So
You
what would
don't?
you do with the people?
Why
who
is
refuse to
capitalism
leave?
better again?
So what would you do with the people who refuse to leave?
They can face the wall. I don't give a fuck.
So you would kill them, right?
If they refuse, if I have somebody who actively tells me, I don't care about the harm it's doing to everybody else.
Right. So you have capitalists. This is what capitalists say. They say they don't give a fuck if you or your family starve. They don't give a fuck if you need medicine and you don't get it. They don't give a fuck. So now when you turn that back on them and you say, well, give up your capital or go live on this fucking island with the rest of the capitalists, who the fuck is going to care about these people? I guarantee you one thing, other capitalists won't care. They're going to be fighting, scratching, to get the fuck off that goddamn island. These are the same motherfuckers that don't care if you, mama, grandmama, anybody get the care that they fucking need, even though they have the money to allow it to happen. So when we put these people on this fucking island, why the fuck should we then care about how they feel? When right now they don't give a fuck about how we feel. We're supposed to now care about these people? Why? Why?
I refuse to give up my capital, whether or not giving up that capital means ending exploitation. So I go, here, you can end exploitation or you can hoard your wealth. And they go, I want to continue to hoard. And I say, here's the option. You can hoard your wealth. You can go live on this island where you and all the other capitalists can be capitalists. You can take your fucking gold with you. I don't give a fuck. Or you can face the wall. I'm now giving you 3 options. If you choose door number 3, that's on you for choosing door number 3. You could have done any number of things.
There are millions of poor people who support capitalism in the United States.
Right, and the reason why millions of people support capitalism is because they one day hope to where they can be one of these people to where they cannot give a fuck about other poor people. So guess what? They're free to go to that island too and practice as much capitalism as they want to. They're free to go to this island and practice as much capitalism as they want to. Feel free. Go ahead. Practice capitalism. Elon Musk, you don't want to give up your $500 billion fortress? Cool. Go over to this island and do it. You don't have to face the wall. You can face the wall. You can keep your capital. Or you can stay here and build better. What do you want to do? Oh, I just want to keep my capital. Okay, well, we'll go to this island and see how many of these motherfuckers are going to be driving smart cars. Let's see. Yeah, just go to the island. Just go to the island. Everything will be okay. You're going to be okay. These motherfuckers are sitting over there with Oprah Winfrey and all of these other motherfuckers that never got their fucking hands dirty. Yeah, just go over there on this island with these people. It's going to make it all better. You don't want to give up your capital. Cool. Go to that island and live with the other capitalists. But see, capitalists don't want to live with other capitalists. They want to live around poor folk because poor folk are the people that actually... The poor folk are the actuators of their fucking wheels that make their shit turn. So go be with other capitalists and see if you can make it out of that shit. Go ahead, have a good time. We'll call it Capitalist Island. You can have a great time. It'll be wondrous, magnanimous. There'll be all type of rides. There'll be all type of food. All type of shit you can eat. But every ride you're going to have to make. Everything you eat is going to have to be some shit that you came up with yourself. Because over here, capitalists always just make so many great things that we should just have to, sit back and say, oh man, capitalists are just so great. Well, go to the island and do the same shit. Go to the island of capitalism and make it so fucking great. We're going to take everybody out of motherfucking Haiti and we're going to drop you on that motherfucking island. We're going to take everybody out of there. And we'll drop you on that motherfucker. You love to sell coconuts, right? You get your coconuts in and out of season whenever the fuck you want it. You get to get it all. So keep your money and go on that goddamn island. We love it.
People don't have capital, so there's nothing to take from them. They don't own capital.
They could have.
No, they don't. Money is not capital. They do not own any capital. That's why they are part of the working class.
Have assets.
They don't have assets. Aren't capital. Fucking Christ. Assets aren't capital. When we talk about capital, specifically in the conversation of here. We're talking about private property. We spent 15 minutes and you don't even know what these things mean. I wish we could have just fucking started there to begin with, right? Poor people do not own the means of production. They don't own land.
Yes, go to this island with all of your billions of useless fucking dollars. Yeah, go to this island with all of your billions of fucking useless dollars. It'll be a grand old time. It'll be a grand old time.
Land, labor, capital, technology that all goes towards the creation of goods and services. That's not owned by the working class. A poor mother who has 3 kids doesn't own that shit. Otherwise, she wouldn't be poor anymore. So no, poor.
This is what I was trying to explain to the brother Yara that he wasn't getting. This is why he lost that debate and got cooked. Because most capitalists don't even understand the fucking arguments. They don't understand capitalism. They don't understand communism. They just don't understand it. They're just hoping and sitting on the wing in a prayer that one day they can be fucking rich. So where they can no longer give a fuck about anybody else. And they can only do the me shit. That's it. That's all it is.
People don't have capital to steal. They have wealth to steal. They have labor to steal that the capitalists keep doing. They don't own capital.
Okay, so
this is crazy.
Do you think stocks are a capital asset?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I think a certain amount of stocks, sure. When you have enough stocks that you now have control, sure.
If you take your last $500 and purchase a stock in a fucking SpaceX or whatever, yes. You've just purchased a stock in Elon Musk's company. That's not capital. Elon Musk can trade all of the stocks he have right now. This is why he's worth the hundreds of fucking billions of dollars. It's because he can take the stock right now, sell that shit. Don't get me wrong. He would lose a lot of his net worth by doing it. But if he would have sold all of that shit, he'd still be richer than you a million fucking times over. A million times over. So this is what it is. Owning one stock of Microsoft, nigga, you don't own a piece of the fucking company. They lied to you. They thought that they said this shit, oh, well, if you just get you some money, you could own a piece of McDonald's stock. Nigga, you don't own shit. You don't own anything. And they got you to believe it. This is the whole fucking gist of the stock market. Hope the shit crashes tomorrow. Fuck all you niggas. It's stupid on every goddamn level.
Sure. Prior to that, if stocks were split evenly, holy fuck, dude.
Do a large amount of poor people have 401ks?
They do not have enough stock to have an owner share. So they're not owners. They are not owning stocks does not make you a part of the owner class.
But it is capital, right?
No, it just entitles you to a piece of another person's empire. That's it. It's really not even capital for real. It's not capital. It's just not. On every level, it's just not.
Stocks are capital.
Are you dead ass?
You gonna answer?
Are you dead ass?
Are stocks capital?
Are you dead ass? I just
Do you think
defined
most
you.
economists-
I just defined.
Stocks are not capital if you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 shares. It's not capital. It's just not. Because you can't do anything with that shit. Like, I don't understand why people don't understand what the fuck capital is, bro. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, these niggas can understand how to cross a road. They can understand you gotta press the button before you cross it, but they don't understand, like, basic shit. When you tell them over and over again, they still don't get it.
Defined you the terms. I just defined you the terms. Are stocks
Do you think
used
most
in the
economists
creation?
concern
Are
stocks being capital?
Are stocks used? I don't care what most economists said. I defined you the terms I'm using, right? Are stocks used in the creation of goods and services by poor?
No, they're not. They're not. They're just fucking not, bro. Private property. Oh my fucking
people.
god, bro. These niggas are dumb.
Why would I need to answer that? I just asked you if stocks are capital.
Because you're ignoring the fucking, I literally defined my terms for you. By capital, when we're saying we are going to take capital, we're saying we are going to remove the things that are collectively, that are privately owned by individuals and corporations, which would be the means of production, which are things used in the creation of.
But in truth, stocks are privately owned. Stocks are privately owned. That is true. But it does not mean that stocks are private property to the point to where it would be a thing that you can actually use to say that you have capital. You can't do shit with that. The only thing you can do is turn it into money. You can't turn the stocks that you own. You're not a head of a company. You cannot use these stocks to actually create capital. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Goods and services. We are going to give those things collectively to the people. So do I think that somebody who says, hey, I don't own any means of production, if I go, hey, yo, I'm going to give you part of the means of production, do I think they're going to deny that? Probably not. The only people that are going to are the people who do own the mass share of the means of production, which are going to be the owner class, not the poor person living in the US, but the wealthy people who own the means of production. But if you want to ignore the terms I've defined for you, that just means you're disingenuous.
I don't think you understand how people actually vote for things publicly. So I'm a liberal, and there are very...
I'm a liberal. That should tell you everything right there. I'm a liberal. That should tell you everything you need to know about this conversation.
Capitalist right-wingers every single fucking year or every 4 years who vote against their interests. So I don't think you understand how many...
You vote against your interests.
People would vote against that, even if they're poor, right?
You vote against your own interests.
Yeah, so you would kill them, though, right?
They don't have anything to steal, so what am I killing them for? They don't have any. They don't own anything. Well, so what? No. The conceit was, would I kill people who refuse to give up their capital? And in this case, I've already told you that capital is the means of production. They don't own any means of production, so there's nothing to take from them. Now, if they want to fight and put their life on the line for billionaires and for the people that do own, that's on them for choosing the wrong side.
So you would also kill them if they advocate for capitalism, right?
If they fight, then we are going to fight
what if they don't
back.
Fight? What if they peacefully protest for capitalism?
Then sit there and peacefully protest for capitalism all you fucking want, bro.
Well, what if the majority of people are peacefully protesting for capitalism?
Then peacefully protest all you fucking want, bro.
So they would actually... What if they won a vote share, though? And we're threatening to dismantle your communist utopia.
let's run through this gambit. Let's run through this gambit. We have a system that I create in which everybody has food, water, shelter, education, access.
All right, so we're gonna listen to the rest of this, but I see that Napa is still over there live. So I'm gonna see after I play the rest of this. I'm gonna see if I can get into that conversation. What y'all think about that? I'm gonna see if they'll let me on and get into that conversation to see what they talking about. So we gonna listen to the rest of this. There's only a few minutes left. We gonna see if they're gonna allow me into that conversation over there. We gonna see if they're gonna let me in that conversation. They was talking about atheism. But let's continue. Let's go.
To help all this shit, right? Now, the majority of people now go, hey, guys, we don't like this. Instead, we want to go back to a system where we had to work to pay rent. And you think the majority of people are going to go, yes, let's do that?
I mean, maybe. The
Maybe.
problem is that
how come every time there's a
real
vote,
world example to compare your system to?
What do you? Oh my fucking god! What are you talking about? Every society that worked this way was genocided, right? You want to talk about the genocide? Indigenous tribes had no private property, didn't exist. Everybody in the tribe.
Did indigenous tribes fight each other for property owned by each other's tribes?
No.
Well, since you said it, bruh. Since you said it, I gotta do it one time. I ain't get no cash apps, but it's cool. But I still gotta hit you with it.
And his name is John C.
Let's go. Yeah, we gonna listen to a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna see if they gonna let me into the conversation. And you know what it is. But let's listen to a little bit more. Let's go.
No,
So they did
didn't.
not at all. That's your claim?
No, literally didn't have a concept of private property. They didn't have a concept of it. What are you
Okay,
talking
but
about?
for tribal ownership, did they fight each other?
What are you talking about? You can look at the multitude of tribes
Did
that
they
existed.
fight each other
No,
over
you can
land
look at
for tribal ownership? Is what I'm saying.
Again, no, not in the way you think they're
Did
fighting
they?
each other over land. No.
Oh, not in the way I think.
No,
Okay.
yes,
So we can
yes.
revise some history. That's all right.
I'm not revising history. I'm giving correct history. You can look at, for example, look at California. The indigenous tribes that lived in California were entirely peaceful. They had interpersonal conflicts all the time. People are always going to. They didn't go to war with each other over land. They didn't go to war with each other over resources because they had free movement between tribes. Multiple tribes in what is now considered North America, was originally Turtle Island, had that same shit. Do you know how we know this? Because when people like Christopher Columbus came over, they were like, well, it was really easy to conquer this people because they didn't have an idea of ownership. So we kind of just came in and took everything because they didn't have an idea of that. Now, what happened is after, I'm not done.
The indigenous
after,
tribes,
I'm not
okay,
done.
no,
I'm not
no,
done.
You're just
I'm
literally
not done.
gish galloping.
It's not a
Please,
gish
let me
gallop.
address-
It's not a
let me
gish
address
gallop
the point at a time,
wait, it's
because
not
you
a
made the
gish
point I
gallop. I
wanted
don't
to
think you
address
fucking
2
know
minutes
what
ago.
gish gallops are. You don't even know what a gish gallop is. It's not a gish gallop because I'm on
You're
the same.
saying so many points, I can't respond.
I'm not
to
saying
them
so many
fast
points. It's all the same fucking point. What are you talking about? There hasn't been
Okay,
a separate
so
point. It's the same point.
Okay,
Fuck, dude. These debaters today are fucking insane.
So. Okay. So, did indigenous tribes fight over resources at all?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So they fought over resources, right? And that was owned collectively by the tribes, generally, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay. So, were they not fighting over land then? Because you said no to that question, not in the way that I think was your response.
Okay. So, had you let me finish my point, I wouldn't have to now answer your question because it was coming in my answer. But you wanted to go, oh, well, he's gish galloping. Maybe. If you're waiting to hear me espouse upon a point, you listen to the point.
But we're having a debate. Like,
Did you think
the
about
point
that?
is to continue the conversation.
Did you think about
mutually,
that?
Right.
Yeah, but all we did now was waste another 2 minutes when you could have just listened. Crazy. Now, secondly,
well,
or
because
thirdly,
you have
I
a
don't know
problem
where I
answering the
was. I don't know
question,
where
so
I was,
need
but
to
here we
ask
go.
a
Let's
follow-up
continue.
question.
Let's continue. Fighting over how to use the resource is different than fighting over who owns the resource. These are two different things, right? Because at the end of the day, when indigenous tribes fought over resources, when the resource was taken, the tribes still gave that resource to the other tribes. Okay? Now, when colonization happened, the indigenous tribes, you'll notice a drastic shift in the way they fought because they were introduced to these concepts, and we're now introduced to the concept of theft in the way that we know theft when it comes to capitalism and resource theft. So they had to change the way they fought. This is why when you see pre-colonization indigenous tribes, the strategies they used, the way they fought, all of these things were different to fighting post dealing with colonizers stealing their shit. Quite literally.
Okay. So, is there evidence that they were like a communist utopia before the?
Holy fuck! Did I say utopia? Did I ever say
over?
utopia, chat? Maybe I'm fucking high as shit. Did the word utopia ever come out of my mouth?
All right. Yeah, I get it. You're gonna be pedantic over time.
Okay. Well, because when you say utopia, what you're saying is no. I don't give a fuck about your hyperbole. Maybe don't be hyperbolic in a debate.
I was being hyperbolic.
Maybe don't be hyperbolic in a debate.
Can we continue?
Maybe don't be hyperbolic in a debate.
There you go.
Answer me this question. I just want to go from a baseline. Answer me this question. Do you think we live in an ethical system currently in capitalism? Do you think our system is ethical?
Not entirely, no. I believe that there should be better safety social nets, like let's say like European countries. I believe in nationalized healthcare. I think certain industries should be nationalized. I'm not opposed to that. However, I mean, generally speaking, I don't believe in the full nationalization of America's economy.
Great. Answer me this question. Do you think it is ethical that someone is able to buy up a water source and then sell that water source back to you?
I mean, do they own the land?
So you do think it's ethical if they own the land?
If they own the land, yeah, I think it's
Sure.
ethical.
Why should somebody have the right to own land?
It's pretty philosophical. I don't really know how to answer that question. I'm gonna be honest.
So
generally
it's
speaking,
ethical to own the land, but you don't know why it should be ethical to own the land.
I think if I had to give an answer, let's see.
Well, if you're claiming it's ethical, you should have to give an answer of why you believe it to be ethical.
Yeah. I believe it's ethical because usually in order for you to own land, you have to work for it, for example.
Okay, so it's ethical to own land because you have to work. I'm assuming your pause right now is because you realize how kind of ridiculous that sounds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to exactly justify private property.
Okay, so private property is something you're incapable of justifying.
Like philosophy of capitalism, for example.
Okay, so you're incapable of justifying private property. However, you do believe that it's ethical, but you just can't tell me why it's ethical.
Okay.
You can't really justify it, but it is justifiable
I guess,
and ethical.
Okay, fine. So I believe it's ethical to own private property because individuals deserve autonomy from the state, the ability to contribute to society through development of land, maybe, and let's say, I guess also security from the state.
Okay. Do you believe individuals deserve that over the right to the resources necessary to sustain their life, such as food, water, healthcare, etc.?
Can you have both?
No.
So you can't own land and have the resources necessary to survive?
You can't have the right to those resources if private property exists, because somebody owns the water and you have to buy the water back from them, meaning you do not have a right to that water. They have all the rights to the water and they sell you use to the water. So no, these are two antithetical, they're two literal antithetical positions. To say somebody has a right to food, water, shelter.
Can you solve for that through social safety nets, though? You can grant people access to water even if they can't afford it.
So social safety nets. So your claim is that people deserve to have autonomy from the state, but the way we do that autonomy and make sure that people have a right to the resources is by taxing people, which is in and of itself not autonomy from the state. So
in regards to private property, you can have a state which allows private property but doesn't but also allows taxation.
No, but your reason for why private property is ethical and justified is because you want people to have autonomy from the state. But now you're saying that they shouldn't actually have autonomy from the state because we need their wait, hold on. Wait. If your issue is the autonomy of the state, why would you support a system of taxation? Taxation is the exact opposite of autonomy. And by taxation...
Autonomy from the state in regards to private property, not taxation.
Wait, so then you're saying private property is justifiable because private property is justifiable, right? So then we're back to our initial question. Why is private property justifiable? If you're saying private property is justifiable because it gives you autonomy to buy private property, what?
Do you acknowledge the difference between a
answer.
Wage tax and do you acknowledge the difference between a wage tax and the right to own private property?
What? You have no
How are those
clue.
things exactly the same?
You have no clue what your argument is right now, right? I'm asking you the reason why something is justifiable. And if you're saying the reason why it's justifiable is because autonomy from the state is important, okay? You can't then say private property is justified because autonomy from the state to buy private property needs to exist, because that's a circular answer. I'm asking why the ownership of that private property is justifiable. You're just going in circles.
Yeah, I'll give you an answer. Yeah, but you're telling me that it's inherently a circular argument to say that you want autonomy from the state, but then
no,
also
it's
want
circular if
taxation,
you say
and
the
that's not
reason for the
autonomy.
autonomy from the state is for private property ownership. That's what makes it circular. If you're just saying we, as a general rule of thumb, we need autonomy from the state, that's not circular. But then you run into a contradiction because you said.
All right, hold on, y'all. Let's see if
You know, I can't taste the ice cream for you.
let's see if the link is still open. Let's see if the link is still open and I can get on y'all.
Yeah.
The last video you just played with the colors, right? With the color line. And then the study you just showed. There's no way for me to show you that God exists. If I say God exists in his handiwork is in nature, and you say, well, that's not enough because I didn't see God form the stars and the moon.
Let's see if they're gonna drop the link for me, y'all.
I didn't see him do that.
Oh, they dropped the link.
Right. So it's really again, Fatty, a form of cognitive dissonance. It's your inability to accept new information. That's just what it is in a nutshell. And so when we look at these particular things, it's like atheists really have no argument outside of the Bible. They just don't. Their whole thing is to beat up the God of the Bible. And one of the reasons that they do that is because they lack how to treat your children, some form outside of morality. Because this is the dogma. All that it's giving you is the principle much of the dogma of living the Bible, because it's only used to present a truth, to teach a truth.
Right. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm not trying to.
No, go right ahead.
Can you turn your camera or no?
Nah.
Yeah, that's cute.
And Qube, Qube, listen, I'm not going to be up here long, but I did see you ask for the link. So Fatty said to Google the definition. I think he said of cognitive dissonance. Mm-hmm. So I will do that right now. And then Qube, is there something you wanted to say? Because I did drop the link for you, even though you've been on your channel calling me a dumb broad and things like that. But I don't have, brother. I've been watching you. It's okay. Let's not get into that. But I just want to show you that I can put out kindness and sisterly, that's crazy. cordial behavior.
So you've been manning this show and also simultaneously watching my show?
No. I'm saying in the past. Were you live streaming this?
No, what I'm saying is I never said you was a dumb broad, like just.
But anyway, what would you like to add?
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, because I want to know where did it go, because it sounds like not sounds, but you guys had two atheists on here. What did that yield exactly when it came to the conversation that you guys were attempting to have or did have? Like, what did that yield exactly?
We wanted to they were actually different atheists than you are. They were more
How
like, well, they didn't say absolutely 100% no, nothing. There's nothing you can say that will ever show that there is an existence of God. And they said they haven't experienced it yet. And so, when we presented information to them, they never once tried to be condescending, like Matt Delahunty and you. They never tried to equate the belief in a God with an intelligence level like you do often.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they're different. But is there something that you wanted to add? Because you asked for the link. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, that was part of what I wanted to get into, is like, what did that actually yield? I can go through it myself, but I wanted to ask you
I'm sure you will, and all the trolls will be in your chat cheering you on. But is that all you wanted to do? Is just ask what did it yield?
Yeah, but you ain't even let me finish. You asked me the same question twice. If you don't remember.
Yeah, because I want to see if there's something you'd like to add that is worth adding.
So you don't want me to speak? Is that what it is?
Quite frankly and honestly, if you're going to get up here and troll like what you do best, no, I don't want you to speak. But if you really want to add to the build, I let you in. So is there anything you'd like to add? Whether it's against what I said or for what I said, is there anything of substance that you'd like to add besides trying to get an let me get this clip and go over here and call her all kinds of dummies? Is there anything you'd like to add worth really talking about?
Yeah, I would like to add a few things, but unfortunately,
you're not going to ruin the stream, are you?
Why would I? You're asking me a lot of questions and you're not allowing me to speak. So, number one, I wasn't on my stream calling you a dummy. That's not what I do. Number two,
you were, but I don't care.
Okay, well, if you don't care, it shouldn't be.
I didn't. This isn't about you and me. I made the statement. Is there anything about what we talked about tonight?
That's what I'm trying to suss out. I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out what you guys were talking about so I can attempt to add. But if you don't want to do that, that's cool. Like,
I let you in. I dropped the link.
Were you in the midst of shutting down the stream and was that what it was?
No, I dropped the link for you. You're here. So obviously I'm giving you the opportunity to add.
Yeah, but I want to add, but I'm also asking questions.
Go ahead.
All right. So what were you guys talking about specifically when it came to, because I was listening from the beginning, but I also had my own show that was planned. So I understand you had one brother who said he's from a different part of the world. He was an atheist. You had Bar on here. He was an atheist. But what I'm asking is, like, what became of that and what was the conversation? Because what you said was they weren't like I was, so I wanted to try to suss out more of that to try to figure out what that was about.
Well, that's for you to do on your own. I can't suss it out for you. I can't give you an answer. Oh, Qube, this is what you should understand about that. You do what you do, look at it, and take what you will. I mean, there's nothing I can't guide you. It's interesting. You're the type of atheist that I was talking about. You want me to understand or explain the entire bill to you. You're capable as an intelligent, conscious being of watching it and deducing what you deduce from it. You will do that. So why do you ask me? Why do atheists, even though you know what you will do and you know what you will believe, why do you ask people to do something for you when you know it's like a waste of their time?
Because I thought that you dropped a link so we can have an intelligent conversation. So that's why I explained the reason why I was here. But, I
am having an intelligent conversation with you. I'm saying we did a build. It went for almost 4 hours. Okay. We talked about a lot of things. Out of that build, you said you watched some of it. Is there anything you'd like to pick out from there and discuss?
Yes,
or
this is what I'm asking you, though. What did you guys talk about that potentially I may be able to answer, or maybe you can be able to bring to me? Like, okay, let me ask you this. Let's get past the minutia. Were there some things that you were asking atheists that, imparted themselves onto the channel tonight? That you were asking them questions that maybe they couldn't answer? Did that ever happen?
First off, that wasn't the right context, because I wasn't asking them their belief in God. So they couldn't impart themselves because I didn't ask them their belief in God. Had someone asked them their belief in God, it would have been an acceptable thing to impart themselves. Okay, first off. But you wouldn't know that because you don't really look into stuff like that, and that's okay. You're asking me, and I guess that I'm going to ask you one more time. Is there anything that you yourself, without me helping you, without me holding your hand, without me actually understanding it for you, is there anything that you'd like to pick out from this stream and comment on?
Right. I would love to pick out a few things, but that's what I'm asking because I listened to approximately the first 9 minutes, but I had a show that was scheduled, so I didn't listen to it. So that's why I'm asking you this.
Also, are you doing this for your show? I'm glad. Hi, everybody that's hating and jealous and angry and wish you could be over here when Qube does the replay and talks about how dumb we are and how I'm destroying the channel. Anything else, Qube? Because I'm going to close out. If you don't have anything to ask me about the build, thanks for hitting the panel. Thanks for not completely ruining the stream, as you usually do. And thanks for being the regular troll that you always will be. Anything else?
Have a good night, sister. Thank you so much.
You too. Good night. Have a great night trolling over there.
Look at
all righty.
That was very easy.
We
that was
covered it all.
Very easy. That was very easy. That was very easy to do. Did y'all see that? That was very easy to do. That was very easy. So we know what's going on. We know what's going on, that she still feels some type of way about what happened. I don't feel no type of way. I was just trying to come in and comment like a regular person. I was just trying to comment like a regular person. Hey, what was going on with the stream? And you know what I'm saying? This is what I was trying. Oh, she was trying to be technical. Well, I didn't listen to the stream. I listened about 9 minutes of the beginning, but I ain't listened to the stream. So, since it's only 12:18, how about we listen to the stream? How about we listen to the stream? Because she said she's about to end it. So let's listen to the stream. I'm going to end this, and I'm going to start a new stream, and we'll listen to the stream and actually listen to what happened. This is crazy. So let's listen to the stream, y'all. Let me end this, and I'll be back in about 200 or 300 seconds. I'll be back. Because I had moved on from this, but she's clearly still butthurt about this shit. She's clearly still butthurt. So we're going to give her what she wants. I'll be back, y'all. Peace.